Welcome to the show, everyone. Here we go.
That's 1-855 toll free FLA 3782. Tell them Steve sent you.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. Call the show toll free. Dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1.
Oh, yeah. All right. It's Tuesday already. Oh, my goodness. The week is flying by already. It is Tuesday, May the 12th, 2020. Welcome to the program, everyone. I got a little startled just then. Behind me, we're on the fifth floor overlooking downtown Boca Raton, Florida. And before the sun comes up, I've got this police one-way glass behind me. I saw some movement behind me. I started to jump, and I realized it was my own reflection. I'm like a cat in front of a mirror here. Oh, my goodness. All right, welcome to the show. So much happening, so much going on. Oh, man, I'm so excited. Now, did you guys catch the Trump press conference yesterday? Oh, this was brilliant. This was brilliant, especially the last minute. The whole press conference was a typical press conference until the end. Until the end. And I've done some investigating, which means I went on Google and spent about, 26 seconds doing a Google search and reading something to find out a little bit about the reporter in question. Now, President Trump, let me read this story. This is in the Daily Mail. By the way, you're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. So this is the Daily Mail this morning. Donald Trump says the out-of-control media is conspiring against him after he abruptly ended his coronavirus press conference following a heated confrontation with two reporters. Trump told CBS's Weijia Zhang to ask China when she quizzed him on why he sees COVID-19 testing as a global sport when 80,000 Americans have died. Trump then cut off his press conference after Caitlin Collins, a CNN reporter he previously clashed with, tried to question him. Yeah, it was great. Now let me play the exchange. This is about the last, let me see how long is this clip. Let's see here. It's a minute and about a minute, a little more than a minute and 10 seconds. This is the final minute and a few seconds of President Trump's press conference. And let me play this and then we'll talk about it.
Is that the U.S. is doing far better than any other country when it comes to testing.
Yes.
Why does that matter? Why is this a global competition to you if everyday Americans are still losing their lives and we're still
Good
seeing
morning.
more cases
Subscribe, guys.
every day?
Well, they're losing their lives everywhere in the world. And maybe that's a question you should ask China.
China.
Don't ask me, ask China that question, okay? When you ask them that question, you may get a very unusual answer. Yes, behind you, please.
Sir, why are you saying that to me specifically?
I'm
That I
telling
should
you,
ask
I'm not
China?
saying it specifically to anybody. I'm saying it to anybody that would ask a nasty question like
That's not
that.
a nasty
Please
question.
go ahead.
Why does it matter?
Okay, anybody else? Please, go ahead in the back, please.
I have two
No,
questions.
it's okay.
But
We'll
you
go
pointed
ahead.
to me. I have two questions, Mr.
Next,
President.
next, please.
But you called on me.
I did, and you didn't respond, and now I'm calling on
Sorry,
the young lady in the back, please.
I just wanted to let my colleague finish.
Okay.
But can I ask you a
Ladies
question?
and gentlemen, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay, then the mic drop. President Trump walks out. Now let me play the beginning. We'll just play the part with the first lady. Let's play this.
Is that the U.S. is doing far better than any other country when it comes to testing.
Yes.
Why does that matter? Why is this a global competition to you if everyday Americans are still losing their lives and we're still seeing more cases every day?
Make sure you guys
Well, they're
subscribe.
losing their lives everywhere in the world, and maybe that's a question you should ask China. Don't ask me, ask China that question, okay? When you ask them that question, you may get a very unusual answer. Yes, behind you, please.
Sir, why are you saying that to me specifically?
I'm telling you, I'm not saying it specifically to anybody. I'm saying it to anybody that would ask a nasty question like
That's not
that.
a nasty
Please
question.
go ahead.
Why does it matter?
Okay. Now, this is great. This is great. In a 26-second Google search I did during the top of the hour break revealed all. Okay, so her name, which I know I'm mispronouncing, I'm very sorry. Her name is Weijia Zhang. Weijia Zhang. So what is she? Why are you asking me? Why are you asking me? She is, yes, she's playing the race card. She's playing the race card, and she has an American accent. She's an American, right? She's accusing him of racially stereotyping her as Chinese because she is Asian. She's an Asian American. He's accusing her of being Chinese, is what she's implying, right? What do you guys think? Well, I went to her biography at CBS News, which is where she currently is employed. Weijia Zhang, White House correspondent, CBS News. I'll show you guys on the YouTube Live. There she is. Weijia Zhang is a CBS News White House correspondent based in Washington, D.C. Zhang's reporting is featured across all CBS News broadcast and platforms, including the CBS Evening News, CBS This Morning, CBSN, CBS News 24/7 streaming news service. It goes on and on. She's traveled with President Trump. She's Putin. She covered the baseball shooting where the Democrat shot Steve Scalise. They don't say the Democrat, but it's there. She worked here. She worked there. And let me see here. When I go down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see here. Let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 7th paragraph reveals all. The 7th and final paragraph of her biography on the official CBS biography. Okay, so she says, why are you asking me that? She's implying that he's accusing her of being Chinese because she's Asian. Well, listen to this. Zhang graduated from the College of William and Mary in 2005 with a bachelor's degree in philosophy, a minor in chemistry, and from Syracuse University in 2006 with a master's in broadcast journalism. In 2012, she was inducted into the prestigious professional gallery at the SI Newhouse School of Public Communications. She's an active member of the Asian American Journalists Association. Now here is the 7th and final paragraph biography of Weijia Zhang. She was born in, I don't know how to pronounce the name. I'm sorry. I can barely pronounce English. But it says here, she was born in Xiamen, China. She was born in China. She was raised in West Virginia, where she immigrated with her parents when she was 2 years old. She currently resides in Washington, D.C. with her husband and their daughter. So she's accusing him of being a racist by assuming she's Chinese. Well, she was born in China. And last time I checked, when you're born in China, you're Chinese. So you're accusing me of being what I am. How dare you? How dare you? That's insanity. That's crazy town. Now, did anyone, while this controversy was brewing last night on television, on the Twitter, and throughout the internet, did anyone else point out that she actually is from China? That she is Chinese? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Now, is it racist? Is it racist? Even if he was implying that she's Chinese, is it racist to imply that someone from China is Chinese? To me, it doesn't seem like that's racist. To me, it seems to be accurate. If he was doing that, I don't think he was doing that. I think he's always talking about China. He's been talking about China since the Sally Jesse Raphael, Rona Barrett interviews of the 80s. He's been talking about China for a long time, President Trump. So, this is the way it is, okay? He's always talking about China. She's playing the race card, obviously. But if he was stereotyping her as Chinese, since she was born in China, and she is Chinese, right? I'm assuming she's a Chinese American. I'm assuming she's an American citizen now. I don't know. It didn't say in the bio, but I'm going to assume that. So she's Chinese American. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Right? Talk about a misuse of the race card. And, that exchange with her shows you the total hostility that the press have. And then this thing at the end was CNN. I got a little take on that. Let me play the whole thing because it's so much fun.
Is that the U.S. is doing far better than any other country when it comes to testing.
Yes.
Why does that matter? Why is this a global competition
Yeah.
to you if everyday Americans are still losing their lives and we're still seeing more cases every day?
Well, they're losing their lives everywhere in the world. And maybe that's a question you should ask China. Don't ask me, ask China that question, okay? When you ask them that question, you may get a very unusual answer. Yes,
I was just thinking that, Sean. Okay, now the next thing, let's talk about this one now. CNN.
Sir, why are you saying that to me?
Oh, I forgot. Why me?
That's
I'm
China.
not saying it specifically to anybody. I'm saying it to anybody that would ask a nasty question
That's
like
not
that.
a nasty
Please
question.
go ahead.
Yes, it is.
Okay, anybody else? Please, go ahead in the back, please.
I have two
No,
questions.
it's okay.
But you
We'll go
pointed
here.
to me. I have two questions.
Yeah,
Mr.
but she
Chair.
didn't respond,
Next,
lady.
please.
But you called on me.
I did, and you didn't respond, and now I'm calling on
Sorry, I just
the
want
young lady in the back, please.
I just want to let my colleague finish.
Okay.
But can I ask you a
Ladies
question?
and gentlemen, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
And then he left. Okay. Now, this thing at the end, now I want to hear some thoughts. Is it racist? Now Trump I don't think was saying China because she's Asian American. He's always talking about China, but let's just say that he was for the discussion. Is it racist for President Trump to say something about China implying that someone is Chinese who's actually from China? Is that, I know you guys call me 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Now this other thing here with this Caitlyn snob from the Clinton News Network over there, CNN, Trump walking out. About 2 weeks ago or so, I saw Ari Fleischer, who was the White House press correspondent or the White House press secretary for G.W. Bush during 9/11, and he was giving some professional advice on Fox News. It was about 2 weeks ago on how Trump was handling the press at these press conferences, and he talked about not engaging the press and the heated back and forth all the time, limiting the length and things like this. I think either Ari Fleischer is personally advising the president right now, or he's seen Ari Fleischer on Fox News talking about it a few times and is taking the advice of Ari Fleischer. Regardless, it is definitely Ari Fleischer has an influence over the president here. All right, let's go to the phones. Good morning. First call of the day.
Hello.
Yeah, you're on the radio.
Yeah, it's Mike and Boca. How are you?
Hey, Mike and Boca. So is it racist to call someone from China Chinese?
No. Here's the deal. If you noted, if you go back to the last 4, actually 5 press conferences they had, the main topic is what Ron DeSantis has been talking about every day. It's about the test. That's their new phrase, the test. They've been doing this for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Even when Dr. Burke was last on, he had explained to one of them that we are ahead of South Korea because they got out saying the South Korea. So this is their game. This is their new narrative. It's all about the test.
Yeah, and I like how so they want to test, I don't know, how many people are in America? 320 million or so. So how many?
I think it's like 340.
Okay, so they want to test each and every day. So each and every day, they want a system in place to test 340 million people each and every day. Is that what they're suggesting?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. How the hell do you do that? What a bunch of jerks. You know, with their, all of a sudden they've got the masks on too. You notice they're all wearing masks now, except John Roberts from Fox.
I'm waiting for one of them to hyperventilate.
Well, what happened was they were attacking Pence for not wearing the mask at Mayo. Then they were attacking the president for not wearing the mask at the meet. And someone had said, well, wait a minute, you're not wearing masks, you jerks. And now, so all of a sudden they're wearing masks.
So I was smart. He tried to talk yesterday, and he couldn't, so he took his mask off.
Yeah, he's like, screw it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other guy, I didn't catch the end. I don't watch it on YouTube. But before that happened with those 2 women, there was someone else, a guy from a newspaper, and he was asking about...
I think it was from the New York Times. It was hard to tell who was who because they were wearing masks, and I couldn't recognize them all. Yeah.
He was asking about Obamagate, and he's asking him about it. He goes, well...
He said to the president, he said, you tweeted that President Obama committed a crime. What crime is that? And Trump said, read a newspaper other than your own, and you'll find out. Yeah.
That was great.
You know, I'm going to take a. I don't think Obama was leading the illegal spy operation on Trump Tower, but because I don't think he led much of anything, but he was briefed on it and knew about it and gave his nod of approval.
Well, here's what's going to happen with that. Next to nothing. First of all, I agree with you. You can't indict Hillary. You can't indict. It opens up a Pandora's box. You can't indict President Obama unless you can prove, but you can't. He didn't.
No.
They came to him. In the last 8-10 months of his presidency, they said, "Listen, this is what we're looking at. This is who could be president." And then he saw Donald Trump. He's like, "Do something about that." So they did whatever they had to do. This whole scheme. I mean, it's.
Well, I think we should. I think if Obama is found to have taken part in this, which really is an attempt to change the election result in the presidential election, which is part of a coup. If Obama was taking part in this coup, I think his sentence should be the same sentence that Hillary Clinton has been given. You know what Hillary Clinton's sentence has been for all of her stuff? She's been sentenced to having to live with her husband in Chappaqua, Bill Clinton. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. So I think maybe we should require the Obamas to live together. How about that?
Unbelievable. Don't hold your breath. Something's coming down this week. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
not 3 years of this. I'm still waiting.
I know. Well, you're not going to get Hillary. You're not going to get Obama. If we're lucky, we'll get Comey. Yeah.
The real weasel. Comey, Brennan. Well, one of them turned. I think it was Brennan.
Mm-hmm. No. Are you kidding me, Brennan? You think I thought it was Clapper. Brennan's always firing off. Unless Brennan's running a big misinformation campaign with these tweets he's firing off. Yeah. All right. Hey, listen, Mike and Boca, got to run for a break, but thanks for the call. All right. Take care, man. We'll take our break. First break of the day. It's Tuesday. My name's Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show. Don't go anywhere.
The best night's sleep in the whole wide world is MyPillow.com.
You've heard the jingle and seen the commercials, and that's right. You will get the best night's sleep you've ever had with a MyPillow. Have you not gotten your MyPillow yet? Right now is the best time to do it.
That's right, Brian. Hey guys, this is Brian's wife, Kathy, and this is the best time to get a MyPillow. They have amazing deals. Take advantage of them now.
Go to MyPillow.com, click the radio listener link, and you will see all these great deals. Like the buy one MyPillow, get one for free. There's a BOGO offer right now on the Giza Dream Sheets. Buy one set of MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets and get the second set free.
You gotta love BOGO deals. They're the best. And you can take advantage of so many right now at MyPillow.com.
There's a lot of other deals too. Again, go to MyPillow.com, click on that radio listener link, and you've got to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout to get these incredible deals. So go right now to MyPillow.com, click the radio listener special. Make sure to use that promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout to take advantage of all of the great deals. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. Make sure to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, 1-800-716-4879.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the Soul Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very
Subscribe,
own
everyone.
therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to one pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the Soul
you probably heard that
Authority
from me,
today, 954-597-7060.
Hi, this is George Corey of the Soul Authority. In this time of social distancing and sheltering in place, many people have been forced to neglect their feet. We at the Soul Authority are making it possible for you to still take care of your feet while remaining in your home, as we will send a doctor to your house for all of your podiatric needs. The best part of all is that Medicare pays for this visit. So, if you're a Medicare recipient, give the Soul Authority a call today at 954-597-7060. That's 954-597-7060. Don't let social distancing stop you from taking care of your feet. Call the Soul Authority today.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show. By the way, Dr. Mitch Matez, he announced this on the air last week, our anti-aging doctor who does all that incredible work with hormone replacement pellet therapy. Dr. Mitch Matez is offering the antibody testing for coronavirus, COVID-19. Find out if you have the antibodies. And this is a great thing to do because it will make your life a whole heck of a lot easier because you'll know that you have the antibodies. And that means you can relax yourself a little bit. You don't have to be as tense as everyone else is. So give Dr. Mitch Matez a call. He is doing this. It's by appointment. Call Dr. Mitch Matez at his office. And most of the time, he says the results are back the next day. So go in there for those antibody tests. Dr. Mitch Matez, his number, 561-953-5490. 561-953-5490. All right, back to the phones. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Hi, Brian. It's Arnold from California.
Arnold in California? Holy smokes, it's 3:24 in the a.m. in California. What are you doing up and so awake at that hour? You a cop or something?
Doing being so interesting. I
No.
sleep.
Are you at work or home?
I'm home now.
Oh, okay. All right, good. What's on your mind?
So here's what's on my mind. I love the press conferences and all that, but there's a very annoying part that seems so obvious. I can't believe that they don't have the reporters either identify themselves or have something on the screen identifying where they're from. It would be so much more interesting to know.
Yeah, I agree.
Reporters,
especially when they're wearing masks.
but you set up for the nature of the question if you kind of knew the source of the reporter.
Well, I'll tell you another thing too. You know, these reporters, you know, with their one of the reporters, one of the liberal ones, I got to I think I know who it is. I've forgotten offhand, but John Roberts from Fox News didn't wear a mask, and one of the press corps took a picture of him without the mask and shamed him about it on Twitter because he didn't wear a mask. You know, the White House press area is very, very tiny. Do you think that they social distance and wear masks when they're not on television and they're just hanging out with the press in the press area?
Probably not.
No, and I'll tell you, let's listen to the press, right? They want the White House to be under lockdown and protect all of a sudden they want to protect the president. Don't you love these people, you know, from the corona? Why don't we end these in-person press conferences and have reporters Skype in to the press briefing? How about that? So they're not all there and they can just pull them up one at a time whenever he feels like taking a question on Skype. Keep them out of the place.
I think if they social distance, it does send a good message that, hey, this is the way we could sit in restaurants,
Yeah.
go to movie theaters. I don't think it's a bad idea that they do that. I just think it's
Yeah, but it's a show because they got busted. They were attacking Pence and Trump for not wearing masks. And then when, I think it was the new press secretary had referenced, hey, you guys aren't wearing masks. And then all of a sudden they're wearing, what part of California are you in?
Newport Beach.
I don't know where that is. So, southern, central, what?
Well, I'll give it to you in your language. It's about 15 minutes away from Disneyland.
Oh, okay, near Anaheim. So you're in an area. You're in Southern California. You know, is it race? The reason I asked, there's a large Asian population in California. Is it racist to call someone from imply someone from China is Chinese, as that reporter did yesterday? Why are you asking me? Why are you saying this to me?
Probably racist to imply it, but the president didn't imply it.
Yeah, he did not.
That question the same way he would have answered if a black reporter, a white reporter, or a brown reporter would have posed that same.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, he's always talking. He's been talking about China for 35 years. There's hardly you rarely see President Trump in a speech or an interview where he doesn't talk about China. He's always talking about China and referencing China, and he's especially since this, he's plenty pissed off about this, and he blames China. And I think President Trump considers this an act of war by China, actually.
I think he does.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's really upset. This was towards the end of a long press conference. He was generous with his time. And you get these, you know, new type of reporters that are out there who are simply looking to make a name for themselves on the back of, you know, trying to get the lead story that...
They're trying to go viral on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's the purpose of every single question. That's all they want to do.
Here's the question for you, Brian. I think she was outrageous in coming back and posing the question and bullying back up to the microphone. And he got upset. So the question is, if he says that reporter was unprofessional, disrespecting the president, talking back to the president, and inferring something that wasn't intended and wasn't there, should she lose her ability to come to these press conferences for a while?
Well, the problem with this is, the White House press conference. Yeah, the White House press corps has changed a lot. Back in the Second World War, for example, the White House press corps would come in and they would tell them the battle plans that had not happened yet, and they'd keep their mouths shut. You know what I mean? You could trust. Now, they're like anti-American. And the thing with when Kennedy set up this televised press conference nonsense, it was really President Kennedy that set it up in its present form. And I don't know who did this, but someone, I don't know if it was Kennedy, I don't know who, but a past president set things up so that the White House press area, the briefing room, the briefing situation is not under the authority of the White House, but the press corps, the White House Press Corps Association. So that part of the White House, that's why he couldn't throw out Acosta. Remember when Acosta was outrageous with him, and the idea that, so what I would do is I would do the press conferences in a different way. I wouldn't talk to these people. I don't know. I do with local reporters, something. I would do something different. I would not talk to these reporters. You've got to show respect. If I met President Obama today, I would call him Mr. President, and I would treat him with respect. I wouldn't say Benghazi, Kenya, because I'm a decent. I respect the office of president. Same goes for that sex addict, Bill Clinton. I met Bill Clinton. Mr. President. I call it. So that's. But these people don't have. They don't. He's the current occupant of the White House. They don't recognize him as the president.
The enemy to them, actually.
Yeah.
Back when you're talking about the origins of this, it was a serious job to be the White House press person. And now this is where they give their shining stars. These are almost combatants out there that the networks are...
Well, you know what? Listen, people give other presidents a hard time. Brit Hume on Fox News, for example, he was the White House correspondent for Fox News Channel back in the days when Bill Clinton was president. And he ended up with his own show, where Bret Baier is now. And he got elevated. He was the first... Brit Hume was the first White House reporter to ask Bill Clinton about Paula Jones, who said that Bill Clinton assaulted her and beat her up, gave her bloody lip, remember? So there's been a long history of this with reporters, but not with this level of viciousness. And, with the White House spot, I think, used to be considered the top spot, and now it's a stepping stone to getting your own show, like Wolf Blitzer used to be the White House, or Jake Tapper used to be the White House correspondent for, I think it was ABC.
Before he became...
Jim Acosta, no one heard... He should be the biggest fan of Donald Trump because he's a household name because of Donald Trump, and I never heard of the guy. I mean, I know he was around before, but I never heard of him until then. So he should be as big of a fan as President Trump as we are. I promise you. He is making a hell of a lot more money at CNN because he's so famous now, and it's all because of Donald Trump. But I'll tell you, Donald Trump when Donald Trump completes his second term, there's going to be a major downfall of news as we know it, in particular the mainstream media. People are not going to be as interested in it. Any president in the future is going to seem boring compared to what we have with President Trump, and television news ratings are going to go down the tubes when Trump leaves office. I'm telling you.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, now what do you do out in California for work? I'm just curious.
I'm a financial consultant.
Wow, that's up at these hours of the morning out there. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I know. All right, how'd you find the show?
I've been listening to you for years.
Oh, okay, great. Well, I appreciate it. Well, thanks so much. All right, take care. All right, let's take our break. What time is it? Oh, my goodness. 33 minutes after the... Where's the show going? Where is the show going? We're 33 minutes into the show already? Oh my goodness. All right, my name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. We'll take our break and be back. Don't go anywhere.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops,
I know, pretty early.
$75 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too.
Hey Jeff,
starting at just
make sure you guys all
$30 for
subscribe.
most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Folks, I'm here with my attorney, Barry Siegel, the very fine attorney who executed my revocable living trust. Now, I had a revocable living trust when I went to see Barry, and I discovered that just having it's not enough. You have to keep it updated. Give me the reasons for that, Barry.
Well, Steve, things change as time goes by, and that's why it's important, just like you go to the doctor and get checkups every so often, it's important to get your revocable living trust and other estate planning documents checked up upon on a regular basis. I would suggest every 3 years. And some of the reasons why you would need to update your estate plan is, first of all, some of the provisions that you may have made, your beneficiaries, your trustees, you may need to change them for one reason or another. Maybe your trustee's no longer with us. Maybe
I got my hair cut yesterday, guys. What do you guys think? Does it look good? Look good, look good.
Put them in as beneficiaries as well.
Felt so good to get a haircut. Oh, man.
My executor had died, so I had no one representing me. Today I have Brian. We made him the executor.
And that's exactly the point. You need to review and dust off that old estate plan and take a look and see what you have to make sure it's up to date. You also want to make sure that it's up to date because laws change from time to time, and also things in your financial life may have changed, hopefully for the better. And if that's the case, we need to make sure that your planning is up to date. So that the bottom line is, we want your estate plan to work for you when you need it. So
Mohawk.
that's why it's so important to make sure that your estate plan, and specifically your revocable living trust, is up to date.
The bottom line is, call Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group, make an appointment, go in, make sure that your revocable living trust is updated. The number
shorter. No. My wife didn't want me to get a haircut at all.
3782. Be sure to mention to Barry that Steve Kane sent you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on Heart Radio.
Yes. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. I got my hair cut yesterday. You can get haircuts throughout Florida, except in Broward and Dade County. No haircuts in Dade, no haircuts in Broward. Palm Beach opened up yesterday, and I live in Palm Beach County, so I got a haircut yesterday. And it was, oh man, it was so exciting. It was so exciting, I made a YouTube video about it. If you go on my Twitter, because I have another YouTube channel other than the one I use for the radio. I put it on that one. But if you follow my Disney Adventures channel, you'll see it there. But I did put it on my Twitter yesterday. I went and got a haircut. And getting it was like liberating to get a haircut. I felt like a free person who was not free the day before. And I didn't realize how long my hair was until I got my hair cut. And when I got my hair cut, I went to my normal place I normally go to, and they were not open yesterday. I could not believe it. So I went to this place in Boca called Man Cave, which I'd never been to before. And so I went in there, and I had to have an appointment. So I set up an appointment. They had an appointment available 45 minutes later. I was in there at 11:45, and they had an appointment available for 12:30. So I made it, and I went back at 12:30. and you got to wear a mask except when you're getting your hair cut. Getting haircuts is a bit strange, and I was a little concerned when haircuts came back, what it would be like. But it's great because just like I think I talked about this on the show yesterday. If not, I know I talked about it on my podcast over the weekend. I saw the attorney for that Texas hairdresser salon owner that got arrested. He was on Fox on Friday. And he had said in Texas, hairdressers go through 1,500 hours of training, and a huge chunk of that training involves sanitary issues. And when I went to get my hair cut at Man Cave yesterday in Boca, by the way, they're not an advertiser or anything. I just given them I guess a free plug. And I must say, this is the best haircut I've ever had in my life. My hair is difficult to cut because I have a lot of cowlicks, and it was really growing out. But anyway, I went in there. You got to wear a mask to go in. And, of course, I sat down in the chair, I said, well, do I take my mask off while you're cutting my hair? She says yes. And the lady that cut my hair, she was wearing a pretty heavy-duty mask. She really was. She was wearing a heavy-duty mask. I had no worries, no concerns. Boom. She cut my hair, and it felt great. It felt great. And when I walked out of there, I felt so good getting a haircut. I felt like a weight had been lifted off of me. I don't know if it was the weight of my hair or the weight of freedom, of liberty being taken away. Because, when you're forbidden to do certain things, that goes against the American way of life. And it felt really good. And I did, because I did get some comments on Facebook and Twitter. Some people were DMing me. I did double what I normally would tip. And I've been telling people, when you get back into businesses that are involved in the tip economy, whether it's the hair and nail people or the restaurants, when you start sitting down at Wings Plus and everything, for the first couple of weeks, if you can, double your tips. Double your tips. These people have not been making money. They live off of tips, and they've not been getting tips for weeks and weeks, and that's got to be tough for a lot of these people. So I did double up what I normally would do on a tip. But, yeah, it felt so good to get a haircut. Oh, man. And, they opened up kind of unexpectedly. So they only had one stylist. She was the only one in there. It was by appointment. And the phone was ringing off the hook. And people were calling because Palm Beach County opened. Broward and Dade is not. Okay? Broward and Dade is not open. Although Steve tells me that on Monday next week, you can get a haircut in Broward, he tells me. I don't know. It was interesting. People were calling from across the county line. It was almost, what it kind of reminded me? Like, people were calling in from Broward County to get appointments to come in and get their haircut in Boca. Jump the county line. It kind of what it reminded me of a little bit? Footloose. Not that remake, the Kevin Bacon, Chris Penn, Footloose. Remember when Kevin Bacon, he wanted to set up the dance, they wouldn't let him do it in the city limits, so he had to go on the other side of the tracks, which was outside of the city limits, to have the school dance? That's what it's like with haircuts here in South Florida right now. You cannot get a haircut in Broward, you cannot get a haircut in Miami, and I was shocked how many people were calling in from south of the county line in Broward County, making appointments to come up this week to get their haircuts in Palm Beach. So what the hell is the point of not opening up Broward and Dade County when Broward County residents... See, this is one of the reasons that Palm Beach opened up, because the county north of Palm Beach is Martin County, and Martin County, people were leaving Palm Beach County to go into Martin County to go sit down in restaurants, to go do things, so these shutdowns and lockdowns and things, when counties in a state start opening up, they're pointless. They're pointless at this point. Broward County is shut down. You know why Broward County is shut down right now still, so far as a lot of these things? You've got Democrat activists running the county is what you've got. I was reading an article at Red Broward this morning, redbroward.com, about it was so confusing. They've got the mayor of Fort Lauderdale and the Fort Lauderdale Commission, they've got some strange way that they're going to open up things, and it was so, I might go through it a little bit later. It was so stupid and ridiculous, rather confusing, and I don't know if it was early in the morning and I just wasn't awake enough to understand it, but you've got Democrat activists that are running a lot of these local governments in Broward and Dade County, and it's a lot of ego. Trump and DeSantis, the Republicans, they're opening up. Now, I mean, the first call when I was getting my haircut yesterday was someone from Coral Springs calling the hair salon to see if they could come up to the place and jump the county line into Palm Beach. So what the hell is the point when people are doing that? There's no point to it. So these Democrats in Broward County, open up the damn county, all right? Dade County too. Open up the damn county. I'm sorry, this is not North Korea. Okay? We're not children that need to have government officials at local municipal levels tell us where to walk, how to distance, where to breathe, who can go out, who can't go out. We have been properly educated as to the situation involving COVID-19 coronavirus, and we can handle it, okay? We can handle it. We don't need you to draw maps and diagrams and do all this stuff. It's getting rather ridiculous. And I'll tell you another thing that I am plenty annoyed with, and that is Publix, which is the main grocery store here in Florida. Publix have these one-way aisle things going on. The purpose of the one-way aisle is so you don't walk by people, you know, when you're going by the, you know, down an aisle, because they're not very wide, because you can't maintain social distancing with the two-way aisles. So they've made all the aisles one way. This is I love the old people who pretend that they don't know which way they're going. You know, I love, you know, I see these old ladies at Publix that are acting like all of a sudden they've got, I see them look down, and they see that it's the wrong way, and then they go the wrong way down the aisle and pretend they've got dementia. Well, I don't know what's going on. I'm just an old lady. I mean, even knows. I also made a YouTube video about the one-way aisles at Publix, okay? I make a lot of YouTube videos. I have 2 YouTube channels. I have the one for the radio, and then I think I put the Publix one on my Disney World YouTube channel, if any of you guys follow that. And here's the ridiculousness of it, okay? I get a list from my wife and my daughter. It has 10, 15 items on it, right? And because of the one-way aisles, it takes me maybe 40 minutes or more to get through the grocery store, if I abide by the one-way aisle thing, which I do. You know, I wear a mask. I do the one-way aisle. And I remember I've got my 10 or 15 items. So I don't need to go up and down every row and every aisle and every section. I just need to zoom through the store, and I can get done in 5 minutes. And I'm down the aisle, and I look at the list, and French fries, right? So I go up to the frozen food aisle where the French fries are. The French fries are about 10 feet from me, 10 feet down the aisle to the right, but I'm facing the wrong way. So if I abide by the rules, I've got to go to the next aisle, I got to go all the way up, I got to go all the way down, and these Publixes are huge. They're like superstores, right? And it's annoyed me so much that I'm really not shopping that much. I'm avoiding the grocery store at all costs. All costs. Like I was out of a couple things the other day. I went to Walgreens and got it, you know, because it's so annoying. So this one-way aisle business at Publix, any of you having this experience, I find, and are you in your communities, wherever you are there other stores doing this one-way aisle business? It is the most frustrating, stupid thing you could possibly deal with. And when I go to the store with the one-way aisle, I'm not exaggerating. Now, I'm an impatient person. I'm a very impatient person. So, you know, maybe that's part. I get a headache when I go to Publix with this one-way aisle business. And the employees, they go either way. They don't have to go down. Now, I have cheated a few times and gone the wrong way on the aisle a few times. And when I do it, I feel like I'm a crook. I'm looking over my shoulder. Did the manager see me? Are they going to say something to me? You know, I don't I don't care for the one-way aisle thing at Publix. They've got a sign. They got these big stickers on the floor that say wrong way, right way, and then they have signs at the end. You know, and when I was in high school, my first job on the books, other than, you know, I had some jobs that were, you know, when I was like 15, I worked at Bahia Mar, and I worked at, you know, mowing lawns and stuff, and that wasn't, you know, that was just, they paid me cash. I was 14, 15. My first job, like, you know, where I clocked a thing and, you know, was at Publix, and it was when I was 16, so it was 1987. And I worked at the Publix on Davie Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale. I remember the store number, 101. And they've since torn down the store and rebuilt it, but it's still there. So this was the summer of 87, you know, between, I guess, 10th and 11th grade for me. And I remember this is, I'll never forget that, when black people would come into the store, like a family or a group to go shopping, some of the now this was 87, it's been a long time, the managers, some of them would follow them around. And I remember one, I'd never seen anything like this. I've never seen anything like this. I remember the meat manager once, there was a black family, they were shopping, and they're down the aisle, and the meat manager comes by, he stands at the end of the aisle and peeks around the corner, trying to get just one eye around the corner watching them. Because I guess the implication is, oh, black people are here, they're going to steal. I mean, I've never seen anything so racist. And they do keep an eye on people in these stores sometimes. So when I go the wrong way on one of these aisles, I think back to that, you know, those racist managers I worked with back in 87. You know, with following black people around the store. I know, it's crazy. But anyway, is anybody else out there annoyed at these one-way aisles? I get annoyed at the one-way aisles. Anyway, hey, listen, let's take our last break of the first hour. Got some more issues to jump into. Our number, toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. Let's take our break and be back after this. Don't go anywhere.
So you've been told you need a health test. What are you going to have to pay? Health tests can be very expensive. If you go to your doctor's office or one of the big labs, it can cost you hundreds of dollars. Sometimes I haven't had lab tests because of the cost. Then I discovered Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs' goal is to get you all the lab tests you need, save you money, and get you in and out in 15 minutes or less. At Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs, you never need an appointment, no doctor's order, or prescription needed either. You can walk right in and have any of their thousands of lab tests done for just a fraction of the price the big labs or your doctor's office charge. Give them a call.
Yeah, that one-way thing sucks.
906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Private and affordable lab testing. 954-906-5983.
We are chatting today with Frank.
Well, I usually
of two magnificent Ace
go to the
Hardware
store early.
stores.
Like when I get off work,
Deerfield
typically there aren't that many people there, like 10, 10:30 in the morning.
About a quarter of a mile south of Hillsborough on the west side of Federal Highway. And the other, each Ace Hardware, located at 232 Commercial Boulevard, half a block west of A1A in Lauderdale by the sea. Well, one of the things I noticed when I first walked into Ace Hardware is that you carry such a wide variety of the big brands all under one roof. It's astounding.
That's Ace's new practice. It's called Best Brands. And under one roof, we have major categories. Let me give you an example of two. Yeti coolers, Craftsman hand tools, Milwaukee hand tools, Steel power equipment, Benmore paint, Weber grills, Napoleon grills, Traeger grills, Big Green Egg. We are a platinum dealer. We have the largest selection of Green Egg products. All under one roof, all with people that are experienced and show you how to use these products.
There are lots of Ace Hardware stores, but there are only two that are advertising with the Steve Kane Show. We're talking about the Deerfield location, a quarter of a mile south of Hillsborough Boulevard on the west side of Federal, and of course the beach.
I need you guys to monitor on the radio 1470 at 7 a.m. Make sure there's no problems. Yesterday the power went off at the transmitter.
Lauderdale by the sea. Very, very special locations. Be sure to mention Steve Kane sent you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
Yeah, and Ace Hardware Deerfield, Beach Ace Hardware, lots of Ace Hardwares, only two advertising on the longest running radio show in the state of Florida, right? Ace Hardware Deerfield, Beach Ace Hardware. Still, they're giving away the free bandanas if you mention the Steve Kane Show that you can wear as a mask anywhere. And they have all of those supplies you've been looking for. And I put this on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, Brian Craig Show on Twitter, I put a picture of this on Twitter. I should put it on SteveKaneShow.com. Frank from Ace Hardware brought a care package for Steve, which included items they carry at Ace Hardware Deerfield and Beach Ace Hardware. And that was Lysol, hand sanitizer, masks, bandanas, paper towels, all those hard-to-find items, sanitizers, all kinds of others too. Those hard-to-find items you're trying to get, they have them at Ace Hardware Deerfield. They have them at the Beach Ace Hardware. So stop in. All right, let's go back to the phones. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Good morning. About a month ago, I purchased a Ninja face mask from Ace Hardware.
The Ninja face masks are pretty cool. That's the one that goes over your head and mouth, and you just see kind of like the eyes.
Right. And
How does your puffy mustache do, wearing these masks all the time?
that's fine. I'm trimming it better these days because I've been using the Relco One Blade.
Oh, okay. Now, anyway, Liberal Al, what's on your mind, Liberal Al?
I've done criticism about my procedure.
You're used to your whole life is a criticism, right? I mean, you're used to getting criticism. So why'd you call today? What's on your mind?
I live for criticism. Anyway, what's on my mind is the embarrassing news conference that happened yesterday.
I know, the press, they looked awful. I don't know why the press embarrassed themselves so much yesterday. I agree with you. It was embarrassing for the press yesterday, especially the end.
You know, if he was a Democrat, I would be embarrassed.
Now let's slow down. Can we so far as the press conference yesterday? The only thing about the press conference I want to talk about is the end. I played it in the first segment. Let me play it again. This is the last minute of the press conference. You just hang on there, Liberal Al, and let me see here. Where is it? Here it is. This is the end of yesterday's historic press conference.
Is that the U.S. is doing far better than any other country when it comes to testing.
Yes.
Why does that matter? Why is this a global competition to you if everyday Americans are still losing their lives and we're still seeing more cases every day?
Well, they're losing their lives everywhere in the world, and maybe that's a question you should ask China. Don't ask me, ask China that question, okay? When you ask them that question, you may get a very unusual answer. Yes, behind you, please.
Sir, why are you saying that to me specifically?
I'm telling you, I'm not saying it specifically to anybody. I'm saying it to anybody that would ask a nasty question like that.
We can't impeach an ex-president.
Why does it matter?
Okay.
Okay, that's the first part. That's the CBS reporter. Now, she is playing the race card, national card. She is implying that because she is Asian American, that he's calling her Chinese. And I found out this morning she is from China. She was born in China. So, is it racist to accuse someone of being Chinese who was born in China, Liberal Al?
The way he addressed her, it was obvious he was being racist.
No. Wait a minute. No. First off, he's always talking about China, okay? And he said, he's always talking about China. But let's just assume he's implying she's Chinese. She is Chinese. She was born in China. It's on her biography at the CBS News website. Like, if I said to you, if I accused you of being an American, is that racist?
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, if I accuse you of being an American, while it may be embarrassing for our country, is it racist to accuse you, Al, of being an American?
Would it be,
That's not an answer, that's a question, Al. She's from China. She was born in China. If he was implying she is Chinese, it's accurate. She's born in China. Why is that racist, but me accusing you of being an American is not?
You're from Ohio. How dare you be from that state of Ohio?
Well, it's not racist to accuse me. If you called me a Buckeye That's not racist. It's accurate. She's Chinese. You're American. I'm American. I'm a Buckeye. You know, so it's not racist. If I went up to someone and they were Korean or Japanese, and I assume they were Chinese because they're, you know, they look Asian. Now maybe, but she was actually born in China. It's on her CBS News biography. I read it on the air. She was born in China. She's Chinese American.
Well, what I don't understand is the fact that he brags about us being 131st out of 140 countries when it comes to our mortality rate per 100,000 people. He lies and says we're number one when we're not number one.
Oh yeah, I know. Liberals love to say America's not number one. Say it again. Say America's not number one again. I know you love saying that, Al. Say America's not number one. I say it again because I know you get it. And liberals get sexually aroused when they say that. Go ahead, Al.
I'm a patriot and I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, for what country? You're a patriot for what country?
No, I'm embarrassed that we have a president that lives in another world. I mean, he's touching reality.
Okay, now back to the issue at hand. You brought, excuse me. So, is it racist to call you an American? No. Okay. So, why is it racist to say that someone from China is Chinese? Trump didn't say that, but if he did, why would it be racist to say someone from China is Chinese? If it's not racist to say you're an American.
I didn't hear anything you just...
You heard everything. I've asked the question 8 times. I'll ask it again. She was born in China. She is implying that he was accusing her of being Chinese. Oh. Right?
He was pointing a question at her it was a nasty question. It was not a nasty question.
No, we're not talking about the nastiness of the question. She was playing the race card. He said, ask China. Why are you asking me? She's implying that because she is Asian, he's accusing her of being Chinese. We find out she is Chinese. So is it racist? I'll ask this is like the 12th time, okay? Is it racist to say that someone born in China is Chinese?
Okay, you're doing something with your equipment where I can't hear anything you're saying.
You can, yeah, come on. I'm not doing it. You just don't have any. How'd you hear me just now then? You can hear this 20 seconds, but not that question 12 times? Al, come on. You're looking like a jerk. Come on.
Purposely putting the hold button.
I haven't touched the hold button. My hand is so far away from the hold button and the phone in this new studio, I have to physically move my body to hit the mute button or put you on hold. I have not, no. The only thing I've done is turn my own mic off.
I think you got your hand on another button.
All right, can you, now I don't have my hand, the only button I've turned off is my own mic like now. See, my mic is on, it's off. It's on, it's off. It's on, it's off. Let me ask the question again. You can hear me now, right, Al? Okay. The CBS reporter is implying that President Trump is racist, that he's accusing her of being Chinese because she is Asian. Well, her official biography, CBS News biography, she was born in China. So, is it racist to call someone Chinese who is Chinese?
It's racist to say you should ask China why the pandemic is as bad as it is.
Why is that racist? You can't have Asian reporters ask questions of China? Come on.
Oh wow! That if you don't view that the last minute of the conference as an embarrassing.
It was embarrassing to the media. It was embarrassing to the media.
You're being intellectually dishonest, and you know it. You're being intellectually dishonest.
Okay.
That Trump has lost his mind.
Yeah, I know. He's getting worse.
He suffers from it.
You're the one with the candidate that has age-related dementia who thinks Obama and Clinton are still president. So what are you talking about? Our guy's lost his mind. Your guy's suffering from age-related dementia.
Biden is not as sharp as he was.
No, you think? All right, let's take our break for the top. I'm Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back.
5.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM,
Steve
and
Kane Show.
AM 1470, WWNN Pompano Beach is
Hey, Mike,
the
hold on.
Florida Money Talk Network.
Hold on.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at
Unbelievable.
Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Folks, I'm here with my attorney, Barry Siegel, the very fine attorney who executed my revocable living trust. Now, I had a revocable living trust.
See, I've got more energy now because I got my
discovered
caffeine.
that just having it's not enough. You have
No
to
added charges. Friendly Tire have a great
See,
selection of good used
that's
tires
us on
too,
delay.
starting
Hear
at
that?
just
He's still playing the
$30
Friendly
for
Tire
most cars.
commercial.
Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly.
That's why it's important, just like you go to the doctor and you get
$977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
See, he's still playing Friendly Tire.
Some of the reasons why you would need to update
That's
this
how long our
is,
delay is. We have
first
two
of all,
delays.
Some of the provisions that you may have made, your beneficiaries, your trustees, you may need to change them for one reason or another. Maybe
Welcome,
your
everyone. Make
trustees
sure
no
you
longer with us,
subscribe.
maybe you're not the best choice
Click the
anymore.
notification
Maybe you
bell.
have more children and you
Share it,
need
get your friends
put
to
them in
sub.
as beneficiaries as well.
In
Also,
my case, my executor had died, so I had no one representing me. Today I have Brian. We made him the executor.
and that's exactly the point. You need to review and dust off that old estate plan and take a look and see what you have to make sure it's up to date. You also want
That
to make
wasn't
sure
a waste
that it's
of
up
time.
to date because laws change from time to time, and also things in your financial life may have changed, hopefully for the better. And if that's the case, we need to make sure that your planning is up to date so that the bottom line is we want your estate plan to work for you when you need it. So that's why it's so important to
Exactly.
make sure that your estate plan, and specifically your revocable trust, is up to date.
The bottom line is call Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group, make an appointment, go in, make sure that your revocable living trust is updated. The number, toll free,
Oh, thanks, Cheryl.
1-855
Appreciate the super chat.
3782. Be sure
You know,
to
I also have a
mention to Barry
a Patreon
that Steve
page
Kane sent you.
listed in the description of every episode.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE-1. And now, here's...
All right, hour number 2 has begun. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. The longest running radio show in the state of Florida. That's right, indeed it is. And yesterday was the 28th anniversary of Friendly Tire in the same location. Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire opened up 28 years ago yesterday. So yeah, I know, guys. So when you call Friendly Mike up at Friendly Tire, ask him what were the size of the first tires that he sold 28 years ago yesterday. He'll tell you. He's got a great memory. All right, let's go to the phones. Now, here's the question on the table. Is it racist to call someone born in China Chinese? CBS's Chinese-born reporter thinks so.
That the U.S. is doing far better than any other country when it comes to testing.
Yes.
Why does that matter? Why is this a global competition to you if everyday Americans are still losing their lives and we're still seeing more cases every day?
Well, they're losing their lives everywhere in the world. And maybe that's a question you should ask China. Don't ask me, ask China that question, okay? When you ask them that question, you may get a very unusual answer. Yes, behind you, please.
Sir, why are you saying that to me specifically?
I'm
That I
telling
should
you,
ask
I'm not
China?
saying it specifically to anybody. I'm saying it to anybody that would ask a nasty question
That's
like
not
that.
a nasty
Please
question.
go ahead.
Okay, why are you asking me? Well, maybe because you were born in China. All right, let's go to Michael. Michael, you're on the radio. Oh, my goodness.
Brian, good morning. It's not racist in the least. Let me tell you something. People don't get Trump. He's doing everything to tame his temper because China's responsible for this whole thing. And
I know he
he's
didn't.
treating the president as if it's his fault. And he wants to make it clear, China, you were liable for all these deaths, everything that's happened around the world, this financial situation that's going on. And when they ask a question like that of Donald Trump, of why is he promoting that we're the best in testing? Because they are terrible at what they did. And look at what we're doing to try to combat what these terrible people have done. It has nothing to do with the person that asked the question.
Well, yeah, you're right, and you go back to the Rona Barrett interviews with Donald Trump in the early '80s, and he's talking about China back then. Every day, every time he talks, I don't think he's had a rally or a speech or an interview where he has not mentioned China.
It's so true. He's been talking about how they've been ripping us off for years, and you're right. I think there was wasn't there an Oprah Winfrey episode?
Yeah, he was talking about China to Oprah back in the '80s, and I do believe, I talked to Arnold from California, I mentioned this to him earlier, I think President Trump believes that this was not an accident and that this was an act of war by China. He thinks this was done to us on purpose because of the trade negotiations, I think. He believes that. I'm not saying that's true, but I'm telling you I think President Trump believes it.
Well, and also, with what's going on with the reporters, don't you think that they're all having, like, they're in their own war rooms and they're in these news meetings, and they're saying they have to do everything to try and bait President Trump to make it look like he's saying something racist or losing his marbles, that he's getting upset over it. I'll tell you something. If I was in his position, I would have lost it 3 years ago. I would have. It's amazing how he's able to control his anger, but he handles people so well. I mean, he puts them in their place because that's what you need to do.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, and and when he walked out at the end, when the CNN reporter was getting out of control, that was brilliant. I mean, that's what he should do. Screw him.
I was so glad he did that. I was waiting for him to do that for the longest time. And by the way, before we hang up, I just want to tell you, because I told you last week I went to Friendly Tire. So Mike, that dude, let me tell you something. Mike welcomes you like you've known him for 50 years. And he gave me, you're not kidding, he gave me a great price on tires, and I'm happy as a clam. I mean, really, he was amazing.
Yeah, his price. Did you buy new or used?
I bought new. I bought new ones, and it's funny because he quoted me a price on the phone, but then when I got there, he looked at the tires, he made 3 phone calls to make sure I got the best price on the tire, and, I had to come back because they had to order.
Yeah.
And I told him I was there. He waved me right in, did the tires right then and there, and it was.
Oh yeah, and 28 years yesterday in business in Margate Friendly Tire, and the guys that work for him, I've been going there for 11 or 12 years. The guys that work over at Friendly Tire, most of them have been there the entire time I've been a customer, and it's really amazing the low price he has on new tires and used tires. And by the way, if you have specialty tires, run flats, if you have a sports car, if you have a high-end vehicle that requires an odd tire size, if you have commercial vehicles, Friendly Mike will save you boatloads of money on those tires too. He's got a lot of great connections. But his used tires, he has thousands of used tires starting at just $30 in most sizes. They're very good used tires as well. I bought used tires as well as new tires over there. Yeah, so I appreciate that, Mike.
I definitely want to say this. I drive a Caddy, okay, and I didn't want to get cheapy tires, I wanted Michelin-type tires, right? So he gave me, you ready for this? And anybody will know that this is a fantastic price. It's not the $65 tire that you're talking about, but Michelin-made tires, okay? $100 a tire. You tell me if you can find that pricing.
Oh, and by the way, that's out the door and on the road. When you go to these other places, whatever price they give you, which is higher than that, they have he doesn't charge you to mount the tire, to balance the tire, doesn't charge you that phony disposal fee for your old tires that the other places do.
I gotta tell you something else. You know how nice this guy is? Because it took an extra day for the delivery, he makes money off of it.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! I don't know how he makes money. I guess he makes his money in just the volume of business. And it rarely do I stop in over at Friendly Tire that I don't see a happy listener of the Steve Kane Show. And I really appreciate that, Mike. And I'm sure you'll send all your friends in. All right, take care, man. Thanks so much. Yeah, Friendly Tire. By the way, if you want to get a quote on tires over there, 954-977-9445. Friendly Mike will give you a quote right over the phone, 954-977-9445. Okay, now, when we're talking about coronavirus or COVID-19, I always call it coronavirus, corona, COVID, something like that. I know a lot of people that are conservative want to call it the Chinese virus all the time. I don't do that, and the reason I don't is, it's kind of an in-your-face thing. People are just doing it to try to throw some shade and blame over there. I call it coronavirus, COVID-19. For short, I'll say corona a lot. I don't really get involved in all that sideline stuff like that that's going on. But what they've told us on the left is that if you call it Wuhan or China, if you call it anything other than COVID-19 or coronavirus, it's racist because you're implying a certain group of people are responsible for it. And you can make a case for that. I'm not totally disagreeing with that. There's a lot of, there's a lot of movement on the right to get people angry at China, and I understand why. Well, yesterday, Governor Cuomo of New York, Fredo's brother? Liberals like to call him President Cuomo. Governor Cuomo, in his press conference yesterday, I didn't even know he was still doing these, but Governor Cuomo in his press conference yesterday said something very strange. This is Governor Cuomo yesterday in his daily press conference.
When we started this, yes, we have more cases than anyone else. Yes, we had this European virus attack us and nobody expected.
Did you hear that? This European, all of a sudden it's the European virus. Yeah, what else does he say there? It's very strange.
Cases than anyone else. Yes, we had this European virus attack us and nobody expected it. But we're not only going to change our trajectory, we're going to change the trajectory.
Okay, this European virus all of a sudden? Are you kidding me? What the hell does that mean? Why not call it COVID-19 or coronavirus? Why is he establishing Europe? Why is he blaming Europe? Everyone knows where it originated from. Why is he blaming Europe, of all places? I tell you, politics. And the mainstream media don't like to carry the Trump press conferences. They say they're political rallies. Why the hell are they carrying live the governor of New York every day on CNN? And who else carries? Is MSNBC carrying Cuomo every day, Governor Cuomo? Those are political. That's political. They don't carry live the other governors. There's 50 state governors plus the territories, and some of these governors are high profile, like the Michigan governor, the Florida governor. Why are they not showing the press conferences that the other governors are having? Why only Fredo's brother there? Well, because they're trying to elevate his stature nationally. They're hoping he'll come in the convention and take the nomination so that they have a candidate that knows who the president of the United States is, that he's running against. But certainly, they're grooming him for 2024. Right now, I think he's the favorite to be the nominee of the Democrats in 2024, Fredo's brother there, Governor Cuomo. Unless this nursing home business comes back to really haunt him and get exposed. But the only reason they carry Cuomo is because it's political purposes to elevate his stature politically. All right, let's take our break. It's 17 minutes after 7 o'clock in the morning. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Our number is toll free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
This is Brian Craig, and I want to tell you about Dr. Mitch Patez at the Boca Raton Center for Age Management. He's my anti-aging doctor. That's right, I have an anti-aging doctor now. I was starting to slow down a bit. I met with Dr. Patez, and he found that my testosterone level was low. We men begin losing our testosterone starting at age 30, and it goes down every year after that. Dr. Patez told me I was approaching the beginning of andropause. That's the male equivalent of menopause. I began bioidentical hormone pellet therapy. They're tiny little pellets inserted under my skin. And now my testosterone levels are being restored to where they were when I was 25 years old. Thanks to Dr. Matez, I have more energy, I feel better, I look better, my love life, it's better, and my wife, she's thanking Dr. Matez too. Bioidentical hormone pellet therapy isn't just for men, it works wonders for women by reversing the symptoms of menopause, like the night sweats and the mood swings. Men and women, you don't have to live with the negative effects of aging, like loss of energy, loss of sexual desire, weight gain, or menopause. Call Dr. Matez and meet with him about bioidentical hormone pellet therapy. It works for me, and it'll work for you too. He's located in Boca, and his website is hormonetherapybocaraton.com. Or give him a call, 561-953-5490. 561-953-5490.
Steve Kane Show.
And tell him Brian Craig sent you.
If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the sole authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to 1 pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the sole authority today, 954-597-7060.
Hi, this is George Corey of the Soul Authority. In this time of social distancing and sheltering in place, many people have been forced to neglect their feet. We at the Soul Authority are making it possible for you to still take care of your feet while remaining in your home, as we will send a doctor to your house for all of your podiatric needs. The best part of all is that Medicare pays for this visit. So, if you're a Medicare recipient, give the Soul Authority a call today at 954-597-7060. That's 954-597-7060. Don't let social distancing stop you from taking care of your feet. Call the Soul Authority today.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
Welcome back, everyone. And, you know, any lab test now of Boca Raton, any lab test now of Coral Springs guarantee the lowest price on all of their thousands of lab tests in South Florida. And listen, there are a lot of any lab test nows, but only 2 locations advertising on the Steve Kane Show. The 2 locations have the same owner. Any lab test now of Coral Springs, any lab test now of Boca. And their prices are way low, way low. Everything's confidential. Nothing goes on your medical record. No appointment necessary, no doctor's order needed, not even a prescription. You can just walk right in. They're open Monday through Saturday, both locations. And I just give you a couple of examples of their prices, and you will find similar prices and savings on all of their thousands of tests. All right, their CBC test, $49. PSA, $49. Total cholesterol panel, that includes the LDL, the HDL, and the triglycerides, the good and bad cholesterol, $49. They have drug testing available with on-the-spot results available to you for just $49. And by the way, that goes for individuals and companies. If you're a business owner, you need to have employees drug tested. Any lab test now of Coral Springs, any lab test now of Boca Raton, they'll be glad to help you with that. Everything is always confidential. They offer also, STD testing. If you're going in for drug or STD testing, still no doctor's order, no prescription, right? When you walk in, if you don't want to, they're very nice over there. Everything's confidential. If there are other people that are there, and you don't want to walk in and say, hey, I'm here for a drug test. I'm here for an STD test. Ask the nice girl that helps you with the desk, can I have a private consultation? And they'll take you to one of the rooms where they, draw the blood, and you can tell them then, hey, I'm here for a STD test. I'm here for a drug test. Completely confidential. They're in and out in 15 minutes or less. And, you know, I use any lab test now of Boca, my wife and daughter do, because my wife and daughter take prescriptions. They need regular lab work. And it is so convenient as opposed to going to Quest or LabCorp. Even when you have an appointment, you're waiting. 15 minutes or less at any lab test now of Boca, any lab test now of Coral Springs. And it's also a lot more convenient than going to your doctor's office. If you have an appointment at your doctor, they take you in on average 20 minutes late, right? And then they take you into the exam room, and then you gotta wait, and then the doctor comes in, and then he leaves, and you gotta wait for the girl to come in. It can take you half a day to go to your doctor to get lab work done. Not at any lab test now of Boca or any lab test now of Coral Springs, okay? You're in and out in 15 minutes or less, and they can send the results directly to your physician, so you can not only monitor your health, but they can monitor your lab work for whatever prescription. So listen, the number I give you here is for the Boca location. It's the same owner for both locations listed at stevekainshow.com. But if you have questions for either one, call the Boca location and they can help you, okay? 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Make sure you mention you heard them on the radio. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. Actually, you can see it from the Ramblewood Wings Plus. The Any Lab Test Now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza, where the Western Beef is, on the east side of 441 State Road 7 between Hillsborough and Palmetto. And again, both locations and numbers listed at stevekainshow.com. All right, let's go to the phones. Doug, you're on the radio. Go ahead.
Oh, hi there. Conservative Doug, good morning.
Yes. What's on your mind, Doug?
Okay, apparently the liberals and the Democrats want to protect China for some reason. I turned on 60 Minutes, as I usually don't watch, and the whole show was basically how China didn't do anything, and it wasn't, it definitely didn't come out of a laboratory, it's just a natural phenomena. So I shut it off, but apparently they just don't want to let...
Well, why is Governor Cuomo calling it the European virus now?
To try to change the...
Steve Kane Show.
I guess, because they love China, and
hey, Carl.
And so they'll call it European, I guess, to try to make everybody...
Yeah, very strange. It's very strange.
Yeah. You know, the Democrats, I also last night, I don't want to change the subject, but I switched over to Rachel Maddow, because Honey's going to commercial. And she's talking about putting blame on President Trump for not letting his taxes out and comparing it to Nixon not giving the tapes in.
Yeah. Now, what is even the relevance of that discussion? There's a global pandemic going on. I would think she would be more concerned about that.
Well, because the Supreme Court case is today, and it's going to be decided today, and I'm hoping that...
Yeah. Is it racist? Is it racist to imply that someone born in China is Chinese? It was being alleged in the press conference yesterday.
I absolutely not. Ridiculous. You know,
It's stupid. It's just stupid.
It never ends. It never ends. You know, I'm waiting to hear somebody finally say something nice about the president, but that's impossible.
Well, 3 hours a day for about 5 years here on the Steve Kane Show. All right, conservative Doug. Let's go to Carl in Columbus, Ohio. Hey, Carl.
Hey, good morning. Hey, I was just thinking that, you know how Trump ended the press conference yesterday with the first nasty question. I think that he needs to keep doing that, you know?
Yeah.
As soon as the first nasty question is asked, he just needs to end it right.
Yeah.
Start training these reporters to be respectful.
Yeah, just leave. He's got work to do. He's running the country.
Right, and I think they would start, you know, how in the military when the other recruit is messing up, the other recruits start taking it out on him.
Oh, like Vincent D'Onofrio in Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah. That's what he's doing, I think.
Yeah.
They're going to start getting mad at each other for, like, ending it.
Yeah, I know that was. Well, you know, listen. When I saw today, when I looked up her bio this morning before I went on the air just to find out about her, and I was surprised that she was born in China, because of her tone yesterday. You know, I mean, yeah, I just figured she's an American of Asian descent, obviously. Like I'm an American of European descent, and it really floored me to find out that she was born in China, which I would assume that her parents were too, and it just doesn't make sense. Her reaction just seemed strange.
Just listening to it, when you play it on the radio, you would never know that she's Chinese.
Well, she's got an American accent. She was brought here when she was a child by her parents.
You know.
Well, here's how it is, okay? I have lived in Florida since 1982, when I was 11 years old. And I'm still Ohio's still home. I'm still a Buckeye. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm a Floridian, but I mean, I've been here a long time. Ohio's a blur to me, but it's still, that's my home. That's where I'm from, and say, her and her family are from China. So her reaction was if she'd been born somewhere else, like Korea or Japan or Philippines or some other Asian country, I'd say, oh wow, But she was born in China, and her reaction, how dare you accuse me of being? He didn't call her Chinese or implied or anything, but she did. So if what she was implying was accurate, that he was accusing her of being Chinese, well, she is. She was born there.
So for Trump not to answer it honestly and talk about China would have been racist.
Yeah, like Steve has lived in Florida full time since the 70s, but he calls himself a New Yorker, not a Floridian. You know what I mean? So it's bizarre. It's they're just looking. They're looking. Haters are gonna hate.
Yeah, and for Trump to just because Trump doesn't walk on eggshells around these people doesn't mean that he's racist. He's just being honest. Hey, this is China's problem, not my problem.
Can you get haircuts in Ohio yet, Carl? You're not sure?
Sure.
What, are you bald? Are you bald?
I cut my own hair.
Let me ask you, are you one of those guys with a bald spot that shaves the rest of your head?
I don't shave the rest of my head. I just cut it real short.
Yeah. I've got a full head. My wife didn't want me to get a haircut. My wife wanted me to grow my hair really long, like James Spader back in the 80s, And I can't. Yeah, he had the coolest hair. But look at James Spader. You don't want hair like James. Well, I guess you have hair like James Spader now. If you see James Spader these days.
Yeah.
but Matt Lauer, Matt Lauer. But yeah, I know. But I tell you, it was so liberating to get a haircut, just because I could. I felt like I've been feeling like I'm in North Korea for so long, and that I could go and get a haircut was so liberating.
Yeah.
I felt like I was sitting on the front of the bus with Rosa Parks. Well, think about it. They're putting people in jail for doing what I did yesterday in America. Yeah, so, yeah. All right, Carl, take care. Oh, man. Yeah, let me play this clip. I love this clip from the press conference yesterday. This is a reporter from the CBS News White House correspondent, born in China. This is her exchange with the president yesterday.
That the U.S. is doing far better than any other country when it comes to testing.
Yes.
Why does that matter? Why is this a global competition to you if everyday Americans are still losing their lives and we're still seeing more cases every day?
Well, they're losing their lives everywhere in the world. And maybe that's a question you should ask China. Don't ask me, ask China that question, okay? When you ask them that question, you may get a very unusual answer. Yes, behind you, please.
Sir, why are you saying that to me specifically?
I'm telling you. I'm not saying it specifically to anybody. I'm saying it to anybody that would ask a nasty question like that.
That's not a nasty question.
Please go ahead.
Oh, man, that was just great. Why are you accusing me of being Chinese? Is it because I'm from China? Richie the bus driver.
Yeah, hi. I want to, hold on. Listen,
hold on, okay.
Let Al. That wasn't racist at all. Al was trying to be cute with you and cute with everybody else out there. If this was your first press conference that you watched at all, you would say you had a president that's out of line, he was surly and he cut this woman off and maybe it was racist. That's if it was only the press conference you watched. But if you watch all of these press conferences leading up to this, all of the press who's carrying Democratic water, all they report is the testing.
Well, let me ask you this. Other than me, have you heard anybody else point out that CBS reporter was born in China, that she's Chinese?
Not at all.
No. I mean, I'm sure she's a U.S. citizen now, but she was born in China. So he didn't call her Chinese or even imply it. He's always talking about China. But even if he did, so what?
Her attack, her second question, what are you calling me out for?
Because you're born in China.
The Chinese? Well, no, that was part of the deal. The reason, the question was nasty. It was a nasty question because they started a couple weeks ago attacking the president over the testing, saying that he was way behind and he couldn't do anything. The deaths are going on all over the world. The president has had it up to his throat with these guys.
Yeah.
Fact of the matter is, you're not getting any information. These people are an extension of the Democratic Party, and Al knows better. He's just trying to be cute on the air. But if he really believes, if he's embarrassed with how that ended, he should be.
Yeah. Well, it's like I said to Liberal Al, Richie. Liberal Al, like many liberals, including the press corps, love to say that America is not number one in something. That really gets the left excited, that America is not... We are number one with this, but they like to think that we're not, and they like to verbalize that we're not number one.
The reason the president keeps saying we're number one is to shut these people up because all they did was attack them, saying they weren't.
That's right. Well, listen, I got to run for a break, Richie, but thanks for the call. We'll be right back. I'm Brian. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. Don't go anywhere.
We have on the line attorney Barry Siebel, our estate planning attorney, and he's going to tell you what you can do to take care of your family in this very difficult period. Barry, what have you seen happening with estate planning since the outbreak of the coronavirus?
Since the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus, people have taken estate planning much more seriously. One of the things that we talk about often is how people procrastinate when it comes to setting up their estate planning, because estate planning, most of the time for people, is something they should do. But what the coronavirus has done with the outbreak and concern is made people put this at the top of their list. So instead of it being a should, it's become a must. And therefore, we have received a ton of calls from people who have been telling us that they've been meaning to do this for a long time, but now they've realized how important it is to make sure, even if they're doing everything right and they stay home and do their social distancing, they still just want to make sure that they have that peace of mind that they've set up their estate plan to take care of the people that they love. Many people prefer face-to-face meetings. I typically am one of those people. With what's going on, we are still able to help people either by doing telephone consultations or even video consultations. We can send a link over to you, and all you have to do is touch the button, and all of a sudden we're face-to-face. We can see each other, and we can have a consultation just as if you were sitting in our conference room. And the whole point of it is you don't have to worry about your safety. You don't have to come in wearing gloves and a mask. All you have to do is we ask you that you fill out a questionnaire.
And we have a great view here. It's amazing.
And we're able to do the same things and ask the same questions and have the same conversations that we do.
I haven't seen
in our conference room, either over the phone.
I haven't heard any trains today.
It's been working out very, very well.
People are very concerned in this time about their health care. What planning is important for people to have as it relates to their health care?
Brian, the healthcare planning is so very important. There are 3 key healthcare documents that everybody should have in their estate plan. The first one is the healthcare surrogate designation. The healthcare surrogate designation is a document that allows you to choose the surrogate or an agent to step into your shoes and make your healthcare decisions for you if you are unable to do so. We always recommend that you name at least 2, or you can name 2 people together, but the people you name can step in and make decisions for you health-wise, even life-ending decisions. The second healthcare document that is very important is the living will. The living will is the document that's typically called the pull-the-plug document. If you are mentally incapacitated, so you can't make your own healthcare decisions, and you have a terminal condition, an end-stage condition, or you're in a persistent vegetative state, the living will tell your healthcare surrogate whether or not you want to be kept alive on a machine if the machine is the only thing.
I just remembered a funny... Until we get back.
It's very important to have that so that your healthcare decision maker will be able to know what it is that you would have wanted. The third healthcare document that is so important is called a HIPAA authorization and release. You've been to a doctor in the last, let's say 17 years since the HIPAA law came out.
I haven't seen heard the train go by today at all.
And their HIPAA policy basically says that they won't share your private medical information with anybody other than other doctors, other specialists, other medical providers. The HIPAA authorization and release that you set up with your estate planning says is I want my name private, that you can share it with my spouse, my child, my brother, my sister, my friend, whoever it is that you would want them to be allowed to access your medical information, either by talking to the doctors and nurses and other medical staff, or even getting your medical records. So all three of those healthcare documents are so important for everyone to
I
have.
just was remembering something at
during
I'll tell her when we get back about being on the
Group,
fifth
you are
floor.
donating healthcare documents to people in high-risk professions. It's healthcare workers, first responders, and even those who work at animal clinics and shelters.
Yeah, I can't say enough for the people out there who are risking their lives. This is interfering with their families, and they are just real heroes out there who are taking care of all of these ill people. So we wanted to make sure that they had the proper documentation that they needed for their own planning for themselves and their families so that they would be protected. So we are offering healthcare workers, first responders, and those who deal with animals in animal clinics and animal shelters, we are offering them a free healthcare surrogate designation and a free living will. So all they have to do is call our office and we'll take care of that for them. Again, for all of you who are doing this difficult work, handling that heavy load for all of us, we thank you very much. When you call the Siegel Law Group, we will give you a free consultation. That consultation can be either over the phone or by video conference, but the consultation will be free. So please give us a call and we will set that up for you.
Call Barry Siegel's office right now and take advantage of that free consultation. His number is toll-free, 1-855-FLA-3782. 1-855-FLA-3782. Online, SiegelLawGroup.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just
All right. Welcome back, one and all. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Welcome back. Oh, man, so much happening, so much excitement we've been talking about today. You know, this is our third week in the new studio. It'll be 3 weeks tomorrow we've been broadcasting here. I like it, and, we were talking when we moved. There are some other people that want us to move our studio to another couple of locations, and I really like it here. We're going to wait until after all this coronavirus stuff is up to make a decision, but I'm going to see if I can get Steve to stay here. I really enjoyed it. But anyway, we're on the 5th floor, and we have this incredible view, and I just remembered something during the break that I had forgotten about. So it happened so long ago. You know, when you're here on the 5th floor, you can get a great view, and I went for a walk sometimes during the commercials, I'll walk to the end of the hallway. You'll see me walk out of the studio if you're watching on YouTube. I just walk to the end of the hallway and back to stretch my legs, right, instead of staying put for so long. And I'm looking out the window, and we got a great view. You see people coming and going. And I remember when we were broadcasting from Miami, it was Clear Channel, which is now iHeartRadio, but it was Clear Channel, and we were in this building in Miami off of Miami Gardens Drive, and in this building there were there are actually 6 or 8 radio stations in this building. Big 106, 93.9, Zeta 4. We were still on 1400 then. We had 940 Winds, which was news talk, and there was a Spanish language station behind us and everything. And our studio was on the 2nd floor. And I used to, I was on the air during the week, and then on Saturdays, I used to come in on Saturdays and run the board. On Saturday, early afternoons and mornings and stuff. And we were on the 2nd floor. It was a 2-story building. And I remember every weekend for months, behind our building, and some of you guys will remember this, the Miami Gardens studio. We were there with Paul Castronova and all those people down there. Now, this was just the weekend people, and I was there on Saturdays. We were on the 2nd floor, and the windows to the building all faced behind the building, and it overlooked the parking lot of another office building. And every Saturday, this woman would come into the parking lot in her van and have sex with a different guy. In the middle of the day, it was like 11 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock, and sunlight's out. And, the parking lot had a wall around it But if you're on the second floor, you could see everything. And sure enough, me, the news guy from Wins, whoever was there, the sports guy, the DJs from Zeta 4, from remember Love 94, Big 106, all boom. It'd be about 10:45, and then they'd start coming on, they'd start coming around, and everybody'd be looking through the window. And it was one-way glass, so they couldn't. I know, a bunch of pervs, right? That was a long time ago. It was before I was married, and I'd forgotten all about. I haven't thought about that in forever. And I was just looking out the window here, and it just popped in my mind. And it was a different guy every week. I remember one guy got out of the van and he was dribbling a basketball and walked away dribbling a basketball. I don't know where she met these guys at. I don't know. All right, anyway. It's just... I know, it's a strange world, isn't it? Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Also, the most pro-Donald Trump radio show anywhere in the world. There is no radio show that is more pro-Donald Trump than this show. You will never hear me criticize Donald Trump. Never. He's got enough people criticizing him. He doesn't need me to. Not that he's done anything to criticize. I don't see any. There is nothing about this man that I would criticize. Nothing. But you'll never hear me criticize Donald Trump. He can do no wrong in my mind. And a lot of people say, oh, you'll have no credibility. You gotta, like Savage. You know, every once in a while, Savage will go on some tear because he figures if he doesn't attack Trump, he'll have... Not me. Not me. I love Trump. I love everything about him. You will never hear me criticize Donald Trump. Ever. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Just curious what your thoughts are on the new video that showed up about that shooting in Georgia.
Oh, before I comment on it, what video are you talking about? Would be more specific. You're talking about the Aubrey video in Georgia. What about the video?
Well, they have two different videos now.
Well, there's the video of the shooting. You're not talking about the shooting video. You're talking about the video in the abandoned home under construction.
Yeah, but no, there's another video of him walking up to the house.
Yeah, walking up to the house.
Let's forget the narrative that he was.
Okay, so there's a video of him in an abandoned under construction home and walking either to the property or out of the property. Yeah, I've seen the videos. So what?
Okay, so they say he was in there for 3 minutes.
Okay.
The video you see is him walking in, and then they cut the video and say, "Yep, there it is. That's him just walking in." Well, actually, no. There's more evidence, there's more video that he walked in and he did steal something. He stole 2 different items out of there.
Okay. So what does that mean? So it's okay. So let's just say I didn't see him steal, but okay. I've seen the videos. Let's say that is him. In fact, even even his family and the attorneys representing his family, because you got to have attorneys for the class actions, right? The attorneys for the family have said that's him. That's correct. So what does that mean to you? How does that change anything?
It's what he took, Brian, that kind of matters.
What did he take?
He stole some tools, and particularly stole a hammer.
Uh-huh.
And so when they finally do, I don't know, they confront him in the street, and they confront him, okay?
I didn't see a hammer in the video.
Okay, exactly. So rewatch the video.
I didn't see a hammer. You know, he's got 3. So listen, when we talked about this on Friday, the Georgia shooting, I said on Friday's show, and it aired 35 times over the weekend for you overnight listeners, and I said this many times throughout the show. So on the overnights, this might have aired 150, 175 times of me saying this, because I said it so many times. I said this: even if Aubrey is the burglar that they were looking for, it still was a lynching. I said it doesn't matter. And the reason is because, what's that?
Not quite a lynching. It was.
Well, what's a lynching to you? What is your definition of a lynching?
These guys drive down.
No. Hold on. No. I didn't ask about. No. Excuse me. Tell me. You say it's not a lynching. I say it is. Let's get some new information. I'm always open to new information and changing my mind. I have no problem admitting I'm wrong and change. I do it all the time, you know. I don't. So new information comes, I'll say, oh well, I didn't know that. It was justified. Oh, he hung up. Son of a gun, he hung up. I was just going in. I was just going in. I'm not going to tell you what I was going to say to him. I'll save it for somebody else, or if he has the guts to call back. He hung up. Gosh darn it. See, he knew. No, listen, even if he was the burglar, it doesn't matter. He was not threatening their life. They hunted him down. They chased him. They started the confrontation. Now, what this guy's saying is he had a hammer and he went after the guy with the hammer. Well, I'd go after the guy with the hammer too if he had a 12 gauge pointed at me and was chasing after me in a pickup truck. And with all these burglaries they keep talking about, I had a story I shared on the program yesterday that with all these burglaries going on, none of them apparently were reported. Now, maybe that'll come out that they were, but the latest reporting is that, you know, there were no burglaries reported. Yeah, somebody had mentioned this. I saw this. Candace Owens disagrees with me on this. Well, I'm sorry. Just because Candace Owens says something, I like Candace Owens, don't get me wrong. I like Candace Owens a lot. But just because Candace Owens is not Donald, you'll never hear me take issue with Donald Trump. That does not apply to Candace Owens. If Candace Owens thinks this was justified, I'd like to hear her rationale, which she knows that I may not know. But if Candace Owens says it was justified, well, I'm not going to agree with that. What I've seen so far is some of the most disturbing video I've seen in America. I mean, I've seen some things, you know, these beheading videos are worse that we've seen over, but that's not inside the United States, you know. So I've seen the video of him at the abandoned property, the construction site or whatever. Still does not justify what happened. And indeed, based on what I see now, again, I'm always open to something new. Based on what I see now, I'll still stick with it was a lynching. All right, let's take our last break of the second hour. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show. Don't go anywhere.
Dr. Matez, when we talk about charisma, hormone replacement pellet therapy brings back a lot of things in people. And one of the things I think it brings back is charisma, because I've met many listeners that are patients of Dr. Matez that I've met before they were patients of Dr. Matez. And I notice a big difference. And one thing I notice is a lot of confidence in guys after they start hormone replacement pellet therapy.
I agree with you 100%, Brian.
Yeah,
Get your mojo back. It's really
It
what it is.
changes your life. It changes the way you view the world. But you know how I put it once? This was years and years ago. Looking at the world after having the hormone therapy, and you look at the world, and the world is like in Technicolor. And when you give up the hormone therapy, it's like watching the world in black and white. It's just an amazing difference. Like
That's a fantastic analogy.
Isn't it?
It is.
It's true. That's a big difference.
It is. As we get older, we both physically and mentally break down, and we tend to get into a very black and white type of existence, a lot of people. Everybody's different. But when you get your hormone levels back and you get that vigor back, you feel good. Suddenly things are very bright and colorful.
And I experience this myself, and I see it on listeners, is I'll see a guy, and he's like, and then I'll see him after he has become a patient of yours, and with hormone replacement pellet therapy, he seems like he's standing up strong, confident, 10 feet tall. What is it about hormone replacement pellet therapy that does that to guys?
I believe it's because you're putting God's nectar back into the body, basically. God gave us testosterone in particular to give us energy and strength and endurance and muscle mass. It's what makes not just men, it's what makes people people. And a lack of it takes all of those things away from you.
So we'll meet with Steve Kane listeners at no charge?
Always.
What is the number they can call to make that appointment?
561-953-5490. 561-953-5490.
You're stuck in your home and the dog days of summer are coming. It's already happening on the hot days in the late afternoon and early evenings. Your air conditioner is running more and more and may even run constantly, struggling to keep your home cool and hold the temperature that you have it set on. And in some homes, it can't even keep up, losing the battle. And the temperature in your house climbs and you're hot, humid, and uncomfortable. And to top it all off, your electric bill is about to double or even triple. Here comes summer. The cure is reflective and or blown insulation. Stop the heat gain and cut
wish you
your
would run for
electric
Senate.
bill up to 35% off. Act now and get the pandemic special. Our off-season sale. Act now. Save 50% on reflective and or blown insulation and cut your electric bill up to 35%. Call Scott from CutMyKilowatts.com at 954-939-1500. That's 954-939-1500. CutMyKilowatts.com. Put your house in the shade today.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for
All right. And yeah, Dr. Mitch Matez offering the COVID-19 coronavirus antibody test. Find out if you got the antibodies. Call Dr. Matez's office, 561-953-5490 for that antibody test for COVID-19, for coronavirus. Dr. Matez, 561-953-5490. All right. Now, a while back, Liberty University reopened. And, of course, the media and everyone had a meltdown about what a terrible thing it would be to reopen Liberty University. And we've got some new information now. This is from the Washington Examiner. Despite, now I'm going to read you the story from the Washington Examiner today. Despite some 750 media reports that Liberty University was writing COVID-19 death sentences for some 1,100 students returning after spring break, the Virginia Christian College recorded no cases with students on campus of COVID-19 coronavirus and is now holding itself up as the model to follow in the fall. A lot of talk about education, what's the future, and in particular college education. After the students left home at the end of the college school year last week, President Jerry Falwell Jr. said, "We finished this year strong, maybe even stronger than ever before because of the hard work of our administration, faculty, staff, and students who pushed through the challenges that the pandemic caused and never quit safely serving our students." He added, Liberty University created the model that other universities should follow for pandemics by protecting students, faculty, and staff from COVID cases in the local community. We are thankful to God that nobody who lived in a campus residence hall or who worked in a campus office tested positive. This is amazing because when Liberty reopened, I was hearing all kinds of panic. Weren't you guys hearing panic about this? All of a sudden, they care about the Christian students at Liberty University, the media. Liberty University's clean bill of health, ignored by the media after hyping the potential for infection, wasn't a surprise to Falwell or his team. Yeah. It shows how one-sided the American media has become, that they sound the alarm on the false narrative that there are COVID-19 cases at Liberty, and then when they find out there were none, total silence, Falwell said yesterday, while some other schools locked the doors to dorms after spring break and as the pandemic spread. Jerry Falwell Jr. said he let 1,500 students return to dorms under strict rules of social distancing. Most returned because they had elderly parents at home that they wanted to keep safe, or they didn't have internet, or they were international students. They learned online and eagerly, and it goes on and on. So, Liberty University, a complete media meltdown when they opened, and then the sound of silence because they didn't have one case. That's amazing. And you know what he says, they have an international student body too. So international students that I assume have contact with international travelers more so than someone who may not be an international student. Not one case for whatever precautions, whatever social distancing plans they set up. That is amazing. And you will hear that story on Fox News Channel at some point, but you will never see this story on CNN or MS13BC because it doesn't fit the narrative. Stay home, don't go anywhere, lock up, don't go to school, don't go to work, don't go anywhere. Please. The false narrative being promoted by the media. And even, Jerry Falwell and his team should be in consultation with all of America's major universities on how they can reopen. What are we gonna do? Stop college? The public schools, every kid is getting passed this year because the schools aren't going back in very many places. I don't think they should. I would not open up the Florida school. The only problem is with schools being shut down at this point. That's a major problem. See, the reasons I would say keep the public schools closed for the rest of the school year is because the children are not responsible. They're not adults. They're not responsible enough, I think, to do what it is that most people would do. You know how kids can be, especially the younger they are. But the big problem is, as people go back to work, schools are daycare too. So both parents working, what are they going to do? So there's a lot of difficulties there. But other than the public schools, I would open up everything else. And Jerry Falwell and Liberty University, they've been open for quite a while now. They were the first. They reopened really early. They're doing something right over there at Liberty to not have one case over 1,000 students living in the dorms. Now, a lot of that may be, you know what one of the reasons, I know one of the reasons right off the bat why Liberty University didn't have any cases in the dorms. And something that other universities will not be able to abide by. Do you know what that may be? What is it I'm thinking? Well, Liberty University, as opposed to, say, Columbia or Florida State or wherever, Yale, Harvard, Liberty University, being a Christian university, has a lower rate, I would guess, a lower rate of student sexual activity. I'm not saying that they're all celibate, of course they're not, but there's less of it than at the other schools. So the other schools, because you know how that goes, it'll be difficult for them to maintain social distancing to the degree that Liberty does because of the sexual contact. Unless they wear masks, I guess, while they're having sex. I don't know. But that's one of the reasons that the other universities would never be able to handle. But that's one of the reasons. Another reason is, too, I'll tell you, is I don't know what their rules are in regards to alcohol, but at Liberty University, I'm assuming there's less drug and alcohol use among the students living in the dorms as opposed to the other schools, which means more responsible behavior as well. Yeah. Now, everyone in the chat room is telling me about Candace Owens with this Georgia shooting. I did see a tweet from her over the weekend. I'll look during the break at the top of the hour and see what Candace Owens says. But just because Candace Owens is black and she says something involving a racial, doesn't mean she's right. So you know, it took me a long time to like Candace Owens because I didn't trust her at first. She was a never Trumper type person. She's come around. You know, she's young. I like Candace Owens a lot. I've got a lot of respect for her. She does a lot of great work. I was taking my daughter to the Blexit to meet Candace Owens, and we didn't go because of all this coronavirus stuff, right? When Blexit came to South Florida. I will read on her Twitter what Candace Owens says during the break about the case in Georgia, and then we'll talk about it a little more. All right, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll take our break and be back. Don't go anywhere. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show.
9.3 FM, 96.9 FM,
Steve Kane Show.
FM, and AM 1470.
Hey, Barry, hold on.
WNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
This is Lori Kane, and I want to tell you about Brighton Dental Care. I just had a lot of work done, and I avoided going to the dentist for a lot of years because I was afraid of the cost. But I went to Brighton Dental for my free consultation, which, by the way, he offers to all Steve Kane listeners. I had 2 cavities, I needed a crown on top and a crown on the bottom. If I were a horse, they would have put me down. So I scheduled my appointment for the next Saturday because Brighton Dental has Saturday appointments available, and they saved me a ton of money. And I will be a patient for life. Don't let cost stop you from taking care of your teeth.
Steve Kane Show.
Brighton Dental gives Steve Kane listeners incredible discounts
Hey, what's your
on
name?
all dental procedures, just like they gave
Hey,
me.
oh, hey, Scott. Oh, hey,
Prices are
Scott.
so
Oh,
reasonable,
Scott, can you call
you
back
don't
at
have to worry
8:15?
about
Because I got another
cost.
call in
So
at 8.
call Brighton Dental
Call back at
today
8:15?
954
Does that work for you?
4633. That's
Okay, good. We'll talk to you then. Okay, thanks, Scott.
4633. You can visit them at brightondental.com and
I
tell
just
them
checked
Lori
the
Kane
AM,
sent
pretty
you.
good.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. It sounds good, too. Yeah.
95.3 FM,
See, having somebody
96.9
here throws me
FM,
off.
103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network. You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial
Yes, yes. All right. Third and final hour has begun. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. And on the line, we have attorney Barry Siegel, our estate planning attorney. Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How are you?
Great. I was thinking about you this morning. I was reading the news this morning, Barry Siegel, and I was thinking about your Medicaid planning. There was a story today, nationwide, that means in some areas it's higher, nationwide, 20% of coronavirus deaths are nursing home related. And that's shock. I mean, that's terrible. I mean, that's terrible. And so, probably places like Florida, it may be higher because we have the oldest population in the nation and some other communities. And I was wondering, Barry, your Medicaid planning that you do, which helps people that need it get at-home care or nursing home care, is it possible for you to help people move from the nursing home to at-home care situations? A lot of people are very worried about the health and safety of family in nursing homes these days.
Well, what we're able to do is help people get qualified for the Medicaid benefits, and there are different benefits for different levels of care, whether it be home care, assisted living, or nursing home. We can certainly help people who want to switch from one of those areas of care, like nursing home or assisted living, potentially to home care if they could actually go home and get the care that they need. A lot of times if they're going to a nursing home, it's because they can no longer get the care that they need at home.
Sure. Sometimes it's not an option. Yeah. But if it is, if my mother were in a nursing home facility right now, she's not, but she's retired but now, but if my mother were in one, I think I would be trying to find out how I could get her the at-home care, and that Medicaid planning that you help people with, that's one of the things that can help people do is get that at-home care, and people do better and live longer when they're at home. I've heard that forever.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I've never heard anyone ever, all the years I've been doing this, ever say, I want to go to a nursing home.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to stay home. And I don't blame them. And so the Medicaid benefit for the home care at least allows families the ability to get up to 40 hours of home care every single week, depending on how severe the need is of the person needing the Medicaid.
Yeah.
So there are those benefits available, and home care is an option, and it's just a matter of how we're going to pay for it. So
yeah, and you, Attorney Barry Siegel, you have a team of people that work in your office that specialize in this.
Well, we've been doing elder law and Medicaid eligibility planning for about 20 years, and this is something that for those of you who've attended our workshop or watched our free online workshop that's available just by calling our office and requesting the link, you'll know that I had personal experience with my own grandmother many, many years ago before I was an attorney, before I even went to law school. And she was in a nursing home, and we didn't know what options were available. We didn't know that you could plan to qualify for Medicaid even if your income and assets were over the limit. So
yeah,
learned that was a possibility. We were able to, at least I was able to help other people down the road that with this kind of planning, so they wouldn't have to spend down their assets and have the worry and concern and insecurity of knowing you're running out of money, unfortunately, like my grandmother did.
Yeah, of course, a lot of people, they get long-term care coverage, but most people don't. And, and if you've not made those arrangements, Attorney Barry Siegel, the Siegel Law Group, and their staff, they can help you and your family, which, I think, Barry, your Medicaid planning it really is so much highlighted as part of what your practice does during this COVID-19 pandemic we're in, the importance of that Medicaid planning. I think about it every time I talk to you.
Yeah, and Brian, the key point about it is we're really helping people get benefits, home care, assisted living, nursing home benefits get it taken care of by government benefits, so they're really getting free benefits. The problem is that most people don't even give it a second thought that they could be eligible. They automatically think that they have too much money or too much income, and they don't even bother to look into it. They don't bother to take advantage of a free consultation like we offer to learn to see if it's even a possibility for themselves or their loved ones.
Yeah.
Plan ahead, they won't be able to get it down the road. So it's really worth it.
Oh, that's interesting. At what point, Barry, what age should someone talk to you at the Siegel Law Group about Medicaid planning? At what point? What's the earliest point someone should pick up the phone and call you about that?
Well, it's not necessarily just at a particular age. I'd say it's at the first sign of any kind of healthcare issue where there could potentially be a need for care.
Steve.
So if somebody was starting to have difficulty walking or doing any of the activities of daily living, that's for having this conversation. What I tell people when it comes to starting to look for long-term care insurance, I normally tell people that they ought to start looking at long-term care insurance around 45, 50.
Yeah.
So right in that ballpark, I'd say it's a good idea to make sure that your estate plan is Medicaid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now let me ask you this before we close here, Barry Siegel. Okay, so what if mom or dad or your husband or your wife, they need care, they come to you, they've waited a little too long, from the first consultation until you can get this settled for them so they can get mom, dad, their husband, their wife, either at home or in a living facility. How long does that process take when somebody calls you and they're in dire straits?
It depends, like anything else, but I'd say it could be as soon as 3 months, sometimes a little shorter, sometimes longer. A lot of it depends on how much cooperation we get from the family members who need to get us the documentation we need, and so on.
Well, listen, that's attorney Barry Siegel. You guys know Barry. I have met many, hey, leave that open, Steve. I need it open. I've met many listeners over the years that are clients of attorney Barry Siegel, and they have a couple of things in common. One, they're very happy and praising you. You know, Steve and I have been in the Cayman Islands. I've been on a beach in the Cayman Islands, people praising you. But another thing I notice, Barry Siegel, is it's like a weight is lifted off the shoulders of people when they know that their family, that their kids, that their grandkids, and their affairs are in order. They very much enjoy their life without that burden because they know everything has been taken care of with you. Give attorney Barry Siegel a call. It's a free consultation for listeners of the Steve Kane Show. And because of this social distancing era that we are in, they can do it by phone. They can do the consultation through a video chat. Barry's number is toll-free, 855-FLA-3782, 855-352-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Barry, we will talk later in the week. All right, take care. And Steve's joining us. I was afraid you weren't going to be here, Steve.
Good morning. I don't want to waste any time.
You left your phone.
I've been late.
Well, you left your phone here yesterday.
It's not worth the time to discuss.
I was calling you all day yesterday, and then what's going on with Steve?
Well, I had to come in, even though I overslept. Without going, it's too many good things going on to get off on my tardiness.
Yeah. What did I do? And have I done something?
No.
Sounds like I'm being set up
here.
here.
I did not hear the first hour of your show. I did hear the second hour.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was on my way up. And I heard something on, what were it, 40 years on the radio or something like that? I keep losing track.
Are you talking about the pervs?
The what?
The perv view in Miami?
No. Oh, I heard that.
Oh, okay.
I heard that story.
I thought you might be upset that we left you out. You weren't there on Saturdays.
No. These are important times.
Okay.
Let's cut to the chase.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we don't have as much time as we need because of me. This is the story. everybody out there is a talk radio listener. You have your own schedule of people you listen to. You
Yeah.
know, Brian comes on at 6 o'clock. You always tune in for him, and hopefully you stick around when
Yeah.
I'm here. But one of the great hours on radio is in this market is the Rush Limbaugh show.
Yeah.
I tell people the real key, if you want to really learn about two-way talk radio, you got to tune into Rush's first hour. The first hour, he's always got the latest update on the latest big thing. So it falls off a little bit, you know. If you don't have the whole day, it's okay. But do get the first hour, which is 12 to 3, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. You got to listen to this.
I'm listening, but I'm also looking at something. I'm
There's a
listening.
question.
I'm listening to everything.
Okay. I heard something on the air yesterday in Rush's first hour that in a way, I can't believe my ears that I heard it. I want to throw it out and see if anybody else has commented on it or
Okay.
if anybody else heard it. Rush, as you know, is not in the greatest of health and is fighting a yeoman's fight it has special meaning to you when you know you may not be on the air forever and each show is important. So I was listening to Rush's first hour yesterday, and he was on a tear. I had never heard Rush like this. He was tearing. It was the whole thing about the scandal with the what's
Obamagate.
Obamagate.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. And he was on a tear, and he reminded me, as I listened to the first hour, of Peter Finch in Network.
Yeah.
He was on that kind of a roll, and he was...
So what have I done wrong is what I'm getting to. Because I feel a build-up to something I've done wrong.
Everything is not about you.
No, you started out. I've been listening for an hour, and I couldn't believe what I heard.
I'm trying to put it in context. So what a complex you have.
No, you're building me up. You're building it up to tear me down. I'm just waiting to get to it.
This is not about you.
Okay.
Oh, is that okay?
Okay.
Can I do something that doesn't?
Well, no,
involve
you said this was about me in the beginning.
No, I didn't.
You have something that you've been listening for an hour, and something you didn't hear, which apparently is a rehash of Rush's show. Yes, is what I'm getting at.
Rush was telling the story of the news that was just new. It was just out. Thing about how what's the name of the? I'm not so good on names.
But Flynn.
Flynn.
Yeah.
And he was getting worked up, and he was listing the names of the people. He was calling out Obama by name. I've never heard Rush so worked up into a state as I heard him yesterday. And just as that, what I would call the Peter Finch moment in Network, just as he was hitting the top of his stride with this, of hanging it on these scumbags that are trying to displace the president.
Ace.
As he
Scott,
was
I
doing
will call you today.
just
Okay?
as he got to the important key thing, naming Obama, and he was in a fever pitch, and he went to nail. He was nailing Obama, and someone at IOD Radio cut him off the air in the middle of his speech. In the middle of his speech.
No, it wasn't time for a break?
No time for no break.
Really?
No nothing.
Really?
It just disappeared.
Really?
And I was kind of.
What time was this? What time was it? It was the first hour.
Between 12 and I would say between 12 and 12:30 in that area. And I know we have Rush listeners out there. I know we have Rush listeners. And I just want to make sure I'm not the only one over there, because I think I may be losing my mind.
Now, when they cut away, what happened? They went to a break?
I don't recall that. I was so upset. Sitting there, in the midst of all this passionate talk.
Yeah.
And he just disappeared, and I don't effing believe it.
Yeah, I've heard things like that over there before.
Believe it, but
yeah,
just at
yeah,
the
we've talked.
exact moment,
yeah,
just when Peter Finch would say, "I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore," at that moment,
doesn't
he
surprise.
disappeared from the air in the middle of the thing, and I said.
But he came back after the cutaway. They came back.
Later, yeah. I mean, I think it was. I don't know how long it took him to get
Well,
back.
now
They had done that to him.
Okay, now
he hadn't.
Okay, so here's what we need on the phone. Not just a random Rush listener. We need someone that listens on 610 WIOD.
Now you're cooking.
Which is out of Miami. So if you listen to Rush on 610, not 1290 or any other station, 610 WIOD. Now I will tell you, over the years, we've had issues down there during Rush because they got a lot of liberals that have worked there in the past. Some of them I've been friends with. There was one news guy that every time he went to the news, he thought he was the counterpunch to Rush and would do a story.
If you were listening yesterday at this time, it would have struck you like it struck
between
me.
noon and 12:30.
Yes. Or maybe 12:30 to 12:45, something like that, right in that area.
That's disgusting.
Now, on the other hand,
I wonder where that.
I may have hallucinated the whole thing. So
that is possible.
That is possible. Need you to try to keep me sane here.
That is possible. I will tell you though. Now that's an interesting thing because I find what you say to be entirely believable because I've seen things like that happen there and elsewhere, and I can see it. Now the question is, where does that come from? Is it from some liberal board up, or does it come up on high?
I'll tell you from the inside of the business, the way it came off on the radio, it was either the board up cut them off, or one of those deals like you remember in the old days when we were at the IOD. The program director had a way when things were not going over the air that he liked. He would rush in and throw the switch. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember you doing things like that. It's usually on the phone.
I never did that.
You told people that you would call during the break sometimes and tell people to talk about this or that. You've done that before, but not not cutting something off because the content you found personally objectionable.
And I screamed out at the moment. I said, I don't believe it.
No, I can believe it.
And about
I can believe it.
And about 10 minutes later, within 10 minutes, he was back. Anybody out there going to...
Now, you have to be a listener on WIOD.
Yeah, this occurred on another station.
Yeah. All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to check in with Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. But first, let's take this break, and we'll be back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Have you checked your cholesterol?
I've never heard anything like it in my life.
Steve Kane Show. Oh, hey, Scott, hold on. You're next. We'll get right to you. Steve Kane Show. Hold on. The Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
That's why I came in today.
That's the only reason you came in?
Well, no. I mean,
See, don't you think you look better with these different shirts on instead of those tattered T-shirts? You look in better shape with those shirts and younger. The other ones just are too worn and don't fit.
The funny thing with the worn ones is they're all blue. Whenever I go into Walmart.
Well, they're not complimentary, I guess, maybe then. All right, Scott. Oh man, Steve, you got the phones cooking. I'm so glad you came in. The phones are cooking. And we're going to go to Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. But before we go to Scott, I just want to say tomorrow is the 3rd week anniversary in the new studio. We have many more phone lines here. So the phones have been cooking so much because we have more phone lines, easier to get in. Let's check in with Scott from Cut My Kilowatts. He's going to tell you all how to save you boatloads of money off your electric bill. Hey, Scott. Oh, Scott, are you with us? Hey, Scott. Yeah, I'll say that again. Scott's going to tell all of you in the listening audience how he's going to save you boatloads of money
Big bucks.
off your electric bill for years to come. Now, Scott, when you complete the radiant barrier in the average home, will people, they'll start to notice immediately the changes in their electric bill? How much can people hope to save off their monthly electric bill when you come in and install radiant barrier in their home? So that's 20 to 30% a month for every month for the rest of your life in that home. That sounds like a great deal, man. Talk about residual savings. Listen, give Scott at Cut My Kilowatts a call. This number rings directly to his cell phone, so you know you're going to get Scott. His number, 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. All right, Scott, take care. We'll talk tomorrow. Oh, all right, take care. Okay, now, Steve, we've got a WIOD listener who's going to give us, I don't know what they're going to say. They're going to tell you what they heard. Okay?
I can't wait.
All right, you're on the radio. What's your name? Jonah.
Hey, Jonah.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry, guys.
We just did it again here.
Now, new studio. Now, start over, caller. I hit the wrong button. Go ahead. Start over. Really?
It's always the news department over there. It used to be, what was...
Michael Wolf.
Michael Wolf.
Well, I've got a personal beef with WIOD that I've shared before, but I want to share it with you, caller, and I want to share this again. WIOD, if they've corrected this, let us know, WIOD. A couple years back, they put a history of WIOD on their website, and it included everybody that had been on the air there from the beginning of time until modern day, except one person, Steve Kane. And, for them not to include, they had George on there, Steve, and they had people I've never heard of before. They had some of the greats, too, not just Neil, but there were other greats at WIOD. Rick and no Steve Kane. Well, you were not in the history of WIOD on the website. I don't know if they've corrected that, but that's conservative bias.
Well, but it's not about me, and I just, you had, the way you describe your experience,
Yeah,
was
Jonah.
the same as mine.
Yeah.
Jonah. The same as mine.
So they cut away to DeSantis.
One time I called in there, I went on their site and got their phone number and called in there and complained about the way they're reporting about the Black Lives Matter coming down here and having a platform, and I was telling them that that is completely uncalled for.
Steve Kane Show.
And guess what? The phone number disappeared from the site because you can't call in there and complain anymore. They took it off.
Wow. Well, now the question is when they cut away.
I'll tell you what I would like to see. Talk about reaction from an audience and complaints.
Yeah.
I would like to see some of Rush's fans. I mean, this wasn't done to me. This was done to Rush, and all of us out there who want to see truth and the American way triumph here. They ought to look in to see if that was a board up. They ought to investigate it. They ought to apologize. They should apologize to their audience.
I would say not the board op in this instance, and I'll tell you why, because I didn't hear it. I'm going by what Jonas said. Jonas said they cut away to Governor DeSantis. That to me sounds like not board op, that sounds like management. Go to the governor. That does, now that, I don't know who in management or what level, but that's not, a board op did not cut out of the Rush Limbaugh show to yeah. All right. Hey, Jonah.
Thank you for your call.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for your call.
Well,
Let's see who else.
See, you didn't lose your mind.
Here.
What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. Oh, caught them off. I got it. Good morning. You're on the air. Yes. Come on. There's no more calls. I mean, what do you want to do?
Doesn't matter, they'll come.
All right. All right. Okay. All right, Steve.
All right, we are trying to do a little survey here to see
Mhm.
anybody out there that was trying to get in, that was listening to Rush's first hour. And heard
Well, we have a
Rush
confirmation from
cut
Jonah
off the air.
to go
Cut it
to
off
the
air.
governor.
Exactly.
Well, you know, and listen, I like the governor, but I don't think it was breaking news. Cutting away to the governor is not breaking news yesterday. There wasn't something that, okay, the governor's speaking, that's not, you know, this is breaking news. It was just an opportunity.
I mean, it is shocking. It is shocking, and especially for Rush Limbaugh fans, people that listen to his show. Rush was really telling it like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, it was brutal. But the situation is brutal.
Mhm.
I mean, it's incredible that they would insert, that management would insert themselves into a situation like that and cut Rush off at what was probably one of the most exciting moments he's ever had on the air. And not to mention that
you know,
the story is one that...
Over the years, because, you know, I don't, you know, I know people that work at other stations, including that one, and I know a lot of times people don't want people to know that they know me or know Steve, and that's okay. So I'm not going to get too specific about this. But over the years, since Rush Limbaugh has been on WIOD, because he wasn't always there in this market, but since he's been on WIOD, there has always been, there's a lot of tension with people, because WIOD is not the station it used to be with Steve Kane, Neil Rogers, Rick and Suds, okay? It's the Rush Limbaugh station, and frankly, other than Rush, I don't listen to WIOD anymore. And I used to. It was programmed into my radio. And WIOD is really held up only because they have Rush Limbaugh. With all due respect to Manny and everybody, I mean, come on. And there's a lot of anger about that. There's a lot of anger about everybody else that works over there. They can't stand Rush, and it really burns people that people tune into their station for. And in particular, I've seen this with multiple on-air people, not just in the news, sometimes the news people. And maybe I'm talking about somebody that's there now. Maybe I'm not. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But I don't know what you would call it. There's a bitterness, an anger that nobody cares about them. They only listen to that station because of Rush, as opposed to taking it as a positive and say, hey, we've got Rush. Let's ride that train. They're bitter about it, and it pisses them off. And let me tell you something. If there had been a major news incident, you cut in, something has happened, the Governor Ron DeSantis is
No, it was nothing like that.
No, it was basically nothing. There's no news that came out of it. I wouldn't say that they said, okay, he's hitting on Obama, we're going to cut away. What I'm telling you is they hate Rush, they hate he's on the air, and they view it as just an excuse.
When they cut it off, it was like mid-sentence. He was like in the middle of...
I don't think they cut him off because he was getting ready to name a name.
No, they cut it off because
They hate Rush.
It was really, it really made them look, you know...
Well, I would think now this is what I would think you're going to start to see liberals do with Rush. And by the way, no one could convince me that it wasn't a liberal that made the decision to cut away from Rush and go to Governor DeSantis yesterday. If that's what happened according to Joe, I promise you there was a liberal behind that move. What they're going to start to do is he's got very advanced cancer. He's under a lot of treatment on a lot of medications, and I got to tell you, it's a miracle. The quality of program he's putting together under these things.
Astounding.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I think what's keeping him alive and so healthy is doing that show. But what the left will start to do, they want Rush gone. They wanted him gone forever. Everybody knows this. You're gonna start to see them go after him for his health issues, as if he's not, like what you're talking about yesterday. They're gonna start accusing him of not being stable, because he's on medications or he's got cancer and they have this effect and that effect, and he's not being responsible. That's what they're going to start telling themselves, and you're going to start to hear public talk about that as we get closer to the election. If he keeps doing what you're talking about, you know. And I got to tell you, there's a lot of people out there right now as we speak that are gunning to be the replacement for Rush. I would tell you that I've listened to Rush more in the last couple of 3 months than in the last couple of 3 years. And you would not even know he's got a health issue.
No.
So
Stronger than ever.
all of you conservatives that are hovering around the EIB network like a bunch of vultures, just go back to your own shows and your own podcasts, and you can guess some of the names. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. And I think he's going to recover from this and beat it. I really do, because he is, I can hear it.
I think it's a
I can hear
motivator
it.
for him. I think it's a motivator for him.
You know, what happens to people that deal with things like Rush, okay? I mean, it's a big head trip. I mean, you got a serious illness. They lose hope, their whole life comes, and I think that 3 hours a day is such a builder of life in him that it's like almost a cure for what he has. I mean, I would, if I didn't know it, I wouldn't know he was under any type of health scare.
No.
Or going through any medical treatments. I don't know if he's there every day, because I don't listen every day. But I mean, I think the way he sounds, I think he's at his best that he's been in many years.
His last shows have been, just superb quality.
Yeah, yeah. And the people that, well, so I think we got, so you didn't hallucinate it.
No, all right. We got confirmation and affirmation, and that's what we're looking for.
Well, from Jonah. So how, what more confirmation do you need than Jonah? All right, listen, it's the bottom of the hour. We'll take our break, come back, and check in with Richard Pearl after the break. I'm Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. Yesterday, the 28th anniversary of Friendly Tire in the same location in business, 28 years. We'll take our break and come back with Richard Pearl after this.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune.
I got the phones handled, Steve. I just relax. I'll handle the phones. Don't worry.
And Market, where they have all the major brands.
Yeah, don't be afraid.
Steve Kane Show.
At discount prices that absolutely can't be beat.
I know, but I just wanted you to know that there were no more
shops,
customers.
$175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65.
Well, I know what I would have done is taken one of those calls and turn it into our conversation.
Yeah, well.
Because they all listen to IOD, and they're always pulling.
Yeah,
Hey there,
that's fine.
they're always pulling. Oh,
If they come in, that's fine. If they don't, that's fine too. I'm telling you, and I've never.
I made some changes on your phone.
Low price right over the phone.
Oh, what did you do?
954-977.
Well, one, you had an alarm set for 7 a.m. I turned that off. I did.
977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Hey, Richard, we lost you. Hold on. All right.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeart.
Steve Kane Show.
Just search for WWNN.
And it is that time. Let's check in with Richard Pearl from Simply Natural when it comes to your health and when it comes to keeping your immune system strong, fortress-like strong. You can't beat Richard. He's there all the time, and he's there to help you. Richard, how are you?
Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane Show.
Government officials have clearly
Hello.
They don't understand what's going on, how to treat things. They don't pay the Clearly, most officials are ignorant or compromised in their decision making on policies regarding our health, and they're not being intelligent in any of this approach. Now, I just want to bring up here. I heard somebody say that you can't be too careful. I heard on one of the TV shows. Well, people who think like that also fail in life or have a push life. They don't have any risk, so
I can tell you firsthand, when you stop by Simply Natural and you talk with Richard, he's generous with his time. He will explain everything to you. Make sure that you get what your immune system needs to protect you, and that's really in the end what it's all about. Richard, tell them how to reach you over there at Simply Natural. Richard,
Oh, we lost the line. The line went dead. I'll have to call him back. I'll call him back. To finish up, Steve.
Well, let me finish up.
Okay.
You can find Richard at Simply Natural, 954 area code 741-4045, and he's located at 8271
Steve Kane
Sunset
Show.
Strip in
Steve Kane.
Sunrise, just north of. It's actually just a little bit north of Sunset Strip. When you're in there, you tell them you listen to the Steve Kane Show.
Yeah, I don't know what we got Richard back here just quickly. Richard, we lost you there. Sorry about that. We were just telling people where to find you.
Yeah, you can get me, I'll be in the store all day from 11 o'clock forward. I got some really great prices coming out all day. Some guys, one of my companies is coming down 4 hours to drive the product down.
Wow.
So I'll be there at 11 o'clock sharp. If you want to reach us, call us at 954-744.
Steve Kane Show.
Words of wisdom. Words of wisdom. Richard, we'll talk tomorrow, all right? Bye-bye now.
All right, let's take some more calls. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Hello? Yes, you're on the air. Hey, Tony. Good.
I just have to say that.
I'd like you to describe it in your own words. Just your experience. What when you were sitting there, when I go ahead.
Oh.
Well, tell your story, and we'll go from there.
Well, that's insane. That's
No,
insane.
But this thing occurred at a certain moment when.
That's insane.
Okay.
Well, now slow down. Now slow down here. Okay. No. Excuse me. Hold on. Slow down. Slow down, caller. Let's talk about this. Why do you listen to WIOD? Boom. Okay. So, what other reason would anybody be listening to WIOD during those hours? Okay. So, what does it say to you that apparently they're doing this almost every day, interrupting the only reason people listen to their station to put on a press conference with Ron DeSantis that has no news in
I
it?
think you've proved the case, sir.
It's worse than Steve thought. It's worse, Steve. You should be more outraged because you see this every day.
And you've never thought to complain, sir?
I promise you 95% of the people listen to WIOD for Rush. And that's it. I mean, I know that. Yes, I do.
I'll tell you what, if you want to confirm it, sir, if you want to confirm it, I'll tell you what you do. It's real easy to confirm. Call the sales department, tell them you're an advertiser interested in buying time, and inquire as to what the rates are on Rush's show as opposed to every other show they have on that station, and that will tell you the tale you need to hear. All right? All right.
I gotta go to work, yeah. I just wanted to say they do it every day, and it should be... So you should be more angry.
Yeah.
It's worse than you thought, Steve. They're doing it every day. And it goes back to this bitterness that's over there, this animosity, the jealousy.
Well, it's more than that. I mean, these are people that hate Rush and that hate what
Yeah.
Rush stands for.
Yeah.
And if Rush has any of his people
Steve
out there,
Kane Show.
you should call in
Yeah, hold on.
and voice your complaint about it.
No, you brought up a good time. I'm glad you came in today, Steve. You didn't come in for your phone. You came in for this.
I came in for this.
You would have left your phone for another day. No
I
cell
would have
phone.
had to come up later in the
Okay, all right. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Hey, Captain. Describe it in your own words. Describe your experience, how you felt listening at that moment.
Audio was cut off. Audio was cut off. The program content was suspended. The carrier from the broadcast station was still there. Super quiet, dead air. So he just purposely cut the content off.
Purposely cut the content.
That's exactly the
Now,
feeling I had.
now, when that happened, did you? They cut away to the governor caller? Oh, really? So what did they cut away to? What did they cut away to? No, come on. Dead air? Wait a minute. Wait. We need some confirmation on this. So they cut away from Rush Limbaugh, just ready to name a name, and it was, come on, it was dead air? Well, Steve said he was hitting a high point of the, he was getting to the high point of the monologue. And it was, I got to hear some other confirmation because Jonah said they cut away to the governor. You're saying it was dead air prior to the governor. Wow. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. You're. I know who you are. Yeah, you're a professional radio man. Yeah. Dead air. Okay, now, listening to that at that point, what would be your guess as to what happened and why that happened? Because they didn't approve of it. See, now this... So this is interesting. See, this gets us back to who did it. When you tell me that it was... And I want to hear someone else tell us if it was dead air. I trust you, caller, but we need some confirmation. Well, this is what that tells me, okay? That tells me it's lower level. That...
Well, would you consider a program director lower level?
No, program director wouldn't cut to dead air. A program director would cut to something. Somebody lower level would be in a panic and go to dead air. You know what I mean? It's like... Well, it better be Dr. Gupta. It better be Dr. Gupta, that's absolutely sure. You know, I got to tell you, that is... it's worse. It's actually worse than your initial description because if they went to dead air without question, that is censorship of the content. I mean, we got to hear some other callers and get some feedback.
Heard it in the context, that would be very obvious.
Yeah, and for the other caller who says, "Come on, people listen not for Rush, other things." Not. There used to be a time when that was the station, but that was a long time ago. All right, listen, it's 8:45. We'll take our break, come back with the Gold Report. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Steve, of course, here. And we need some more confirmation about this dead air thing. I'd like to hear someone else. And I
want to hear it from the point of view of somebody who heard it and what their reaction was when it came out. Because I reacted, I screamed out. Sitting in my car.
Well, you had good reason to. All right.
I didn't believe it.
We'll take the break and be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Frank, the owner of Ace Hardware Deerfield and Beach Ace Hardware, wants you and your family to be protected during the coronavirus pandemic and has an incredible offer for listeners of the Steve Kane Show.
No, that's a good topic. That's a good topic.
Continually coming in during the week.
There's so little talk now. It's very rare to get some. There's so little talk radio. It's not often you get a chance to.
With a face covering, a lot of the cities are going to ask you to cover your face, so we've got a supply of bandanas. I'd love every one of your customers that come in a free bandana just for mentioning the Steve Kane Show. The bandanas are face covering. The cities are going to require as we start to get back and working it out that everybody's required to have their face covered. So you can use this bandana to cover your mouth and your nose and protect you and protect all those around you. The other thing is, while you're at home, why don't you get that honeydew list done? It's that painting project or Christmas supply, or maybe treat yourself to a new growth.
Wow, what a great deal. These bandanas are reusable because you can wash them. So stop into Ace Hardware in Deerfield, just south of Hillsborough Boulevard on the west side of US 1, and Beach Ace Hardware located at
Steve Kane
232
Show.
Commercial Boulevard, Lauderdale by the Sea, and get your free bandana.
Hold on.
Ace Hardware.
Just wait, Steve. I got. Just wait. I got. Just wait till after. I got too much going on here right now.
We have come to a point where we can take steps to significantly improve the health and function of our cells. Healthy cells means healthy tissue, means healthy organs, means a healthy body. And healthy bodies do better and live longer.
Younger man, don't
That's
forget
right,
Father's
I said
Day.
live
The what, you know?
longer. Life expectancy is increasing in this country, and it is not a coincidence. With simple, safe, and effective therapies such as peptides,
Steve
we
Kane
can
Show.
significantly improve the function and health of your cells.
Okay, hold on.
And therefore, we are improving your health from the ground up. Sleep better, lose weight, build muscle, have energy, have sex, be in a good mood. If feeling good and looking good sounds good to you, call me, Dr. Mitchell Matez at the Boca Raton Center for Age Management at 561-953-5490. That's 561-953-5490. Or visit our website at hormonetherapybocaraton.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for
All right, now the moment for which everybody waits each day on the Steve Kane Show, our wonderful special feature, The Gold Report, brought to you by William Youngerman of William Youngerman, Inc. William, as you probably know if you're a Steve Kane listener, is one of the top experts in the field of the precious metals. He's been advising clients on trends and movements in the precious metals for over 50 years. And those of you who followed his advice, I'm sure have a big smile on your face around this time. William, how are you today? Great. Well, it sounds very encouraging, and also remember Father's Day is coming up, and what a great gift you can purchase for
a watch
for Father's Day. You tell them a little bit about your watch collections and those great ideal things that are perfect for Dad on Father's Day.
We do have a nice inventory of different beautiful watches. Quality watches is one of our specialties. If you have watches you're not using and you'd like to find out what they're worth or possibly sell them for cash, bring them on in. We'll be glad to give you a free appraisal on that. And we have lots of other things for Father's Day, and even just giving him a nice gold coin or something of historical even significance. We have it all in stock for immediate delivery.
Absolutely great. So stop by William Youngerman, located at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca. That's the Bank America building. You'll find you'll find William on the first. Keep confusing you with your brother Richard.
Yeah.
You'll find William. It's on the first floor, directly across from the bank. 150 East Palmetto Park Road. The number to call from anywhere in the world: 1-800-327-5010, and the website again, museum quality website at WilliamYoungerman.com. William, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
You too.
All right. All right. Let's talk to a nice lady in Fort Lauderdale. You're on the radio. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hi, Brian. Joelle from Fort Lauderdale.
Joelle, what's up?
The Russian
good.
They cut away.
He was right in the middle. Would you say, let me put it in my words and see if you agree or disagree with what I perceive. He basically was on a roll. Have you ever seen Network, a movie Network, and when Peter Finch gets up there again and says, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore? It was one of those moments when they cut him.
Well, let me ask you as a listener, did it, to you as a listener, did it make sense to cut away in mid-sentence and go to a mediocre, non-eventful press conference with DeSantis?
That's the point. That's the point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. This is now. Now. Did someone cut in and say we now interrupt this program? Or anything? You didn't hear anything like that. Just they switched the pods.
He disappeared into the ether.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm glad you brought this up today, Steve. Okay, and I'll tell you why. For a couple of reasons. Number one, we got to learn that you weren't hearing things, and because that's good to know. That's good to.
Always good to know.
Well, Steve just had a birthday the other day, so you want to make sure. But the second, there's three reasons. One is that. The second one is I want the listening audience to hear this is a prime example of media bias. But the third reason is we are within the market of Rush Limbaugh and the staff of EIB, including Snerdley. And I think you probably brought something to the attention of the EIB network that they did not know. Because they listen on the radio, but they listen on JNO 1290 in Palm Beach. They don't necessarily listen to WIOD. So I'm glad you brought this up today, mainly so that Rush Limbaugh and his people in Palm Beach will know about it. So I think things will be taken care of.
It would be nice.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Thanks for your participation.
Oh, I got to tell you, Steve, this is an amazing thing. This about 6 weeks ago, on a Friday. I was having a lot of problems, and it was back problems, and it was so bad that during this before we moved to our new place, when we were at the other studio, I didn't even get up during the 3-hour show for a few days to take a bathroom break, because to get out of my chair was so painful because my back was hurting so much. I was walking around the house like a hunchback, and I was in a lot of pain. And you took me over to Dr. Troy Lemaski's office.
Yes.
He's a chiropractor.
Dr. Janae's brother.
And it's been 6 weeks. He gave, with one adjustment, the pain was gone. It has not returned. And, I went over there with you a couple of Fridays ago. That was lower back. there's a global pandemic going on, you may have missed. And it causes a lot of stress. And my shoulder area was like dried concrete. I had all this stress and everything going on. And I went over there and got an adjustment of my upper back, and it gone too. But let me tell you, this lower back pain on a scale of 1 to 10 was that 10. That 10 where you're in so much pain. You're tired, you're almost in tears, and that one, and I got to tell you something. I used to go to chiropractors a lot, and I stopped going about 10 years ago. I told Dr. Troy this, and I said the reason I stopped going to chiropractors is I was always a big chiropractor person. The last few guys I went to, the adjustment hurt. I didn't notice any improvement. I felt like I'd been beaten up after the adjustment. And he said a lot of chiropractors don't know how to adjust properly. So they make it up in brute strength and make sure you hear a crack here and there, and then you're done. He's very gentle, completely pain-free, and effective and works. And I got to tell you this. If you have any type of back or joint pain, call Dr. Troy Lemaski. He's Dr. Lemaski's brother. She takes care of our mind and our emotional well-being. He takes care of our back and joint.
Keeps us emotionally tuned up.
Yeah, and he keeps our joints and back tuned up. If you have any type of back, neck, joint pain, knee pain, wrist pain, upper back, lower back, call Dr. Troy Lemaski. I'm going to tell you, it's a miracle worker. I've never, when I was over there for the upper back, I told him, I said, I don't know, you know, I've never had this experience before. And it didn't even surprise him because he's so good. His patients do well. So he's listed at SteveKaneShow.com, Dr. Troy Lemaski, chiropractor. His number, 954-463-3036, 954-463-3036. His office is in Fort Lauderdale, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Oakland Park Boulevard. I don't care how far away you are, drive there, see him. He's a miracle worker, Dr. Troy Lemaski. I just got to tell people, because it's more of a public service than a spot, because I was in dire straits. So anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. So it's been a pretty hot show today. I'm sorry you missed the beginning because Donald Trump was accused by a Chinese woman of being a racist for thinking she's Chinese. Yeah, well, I did some research, which meant read her biography at CBS. She was born in China. She is Chinese. And she thinks it's racist for someone to think she is, which is Chinese, very strange. And then this revelation with WIOD and Rush. So this has been a pretty hot show. But if you missed any of it, okay, you've got a couple of options. You can, of course, watch the entire show on YouTube, which is archived there each and every day. And also our overnight rebroadcast, 7 nights a week, midnight till 6 a.m. And, you know, we are on Monday through Friday from midnight until 9 a.m. The Steve Kane Show airs midnight until 9 a.m. Monday through Friday on AM 1470, 95.3 FM, 96.9 FM, and 103.9 on the FM dial. You can also listen to us on the iHeartRadio app and the TuneIn app. Search for us by our station call letters WWNN. That's 2 W's and 2 N's. Midnight until 9 a.m. Monday through Friday. And weekends, midnight till 6 a.m. All right, we're all out of time. We will see you all tomorrow. Thanks for listening. And
God bless America.
that's right. We'll be back tomorrow at 6. There we go.
Have you checked your cholesterol lately? Knowing your numbers is important, especially when it comes to heart health.
Just wait till I get everything put away.
Guarantee the lowest prices on all of their
I'm gonna sit here like stone.
The total cholesterol panel with LDL, HDL,
No.
and triglycerides is just $49. No doctor's order or prescription is needed.
So you still can't see. There's the outside, if you guys want to see outside, and then there's the...
Did you say something about somebody was trying to get us out of the studio?
No.
See, I do mishear things.
561-237-5009. Any lab tests now of Boca Raton. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
95.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 103.9 FM, and AM 1470. WWNN Pompano Beach is the Florida Money Talk Network.
All right, guys, take care. Make sure you